back. Look, we're making the new counterculture, whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's running IronAge.media, creating Anvil, the anthology.
Iron Age.
Iron Age. Who even
so-called
knows?
Iron Age. Yeah.
My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Number one Iron Age booty daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. Welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. I am buying a goat. I love goat. We have a show this evening, or we don't, and it all stops here. That's fine. And so cometh the Iron Age of media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody? Yes, it's still at a weird camera angle because I got to figure out how to work a green screen on OBS, and it'll take me like 5 minutes to learn, but I haven't. Hi, chat. What's going on?
Hello, chat.
Yes. Yes, we are one person shy this evening. I was told technical difficulties. I'm sure he will be here soon. That's okay. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights, the show where we introduce you to a fantastic indie creator every single week, whether it's movies, games, board games, card games, comics, all kinds of stuff. Apparently, people create more than just YouTube channels nowadays. Who would have thought that could possibly be a thing? Like, it turns out there are some people in this world that are left that don't want to be YouTubers. No. Okay, I thought I was funny. Anyway.
Me, I don't want to be a YouTuber.
And yet you're here every week and you run your own channel. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
3/4 of my channel is me doing this.
Oh, God.
That's it.
Excuses. No, I'm not one of them. I swear to God, I'm not one of those dirty YouTubers. I swear.
Dirty YouTuber.
Dirty YouTubers. It's okay. It's okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to the chat. We got Maji Chan over on YouTube. What's going on? Gorilla Mar, what's up? It's good to see you. We got Horizon Talker, hello. We got Timo Burnham showing up. Wyatt Hilbert, he's not going to be here to hang out, but he wanted to say that he loved Berserker. Yes, I did see that. He did get it. So I got it right here, displayed in the back. I got to read it. I'm going to have to take like 10, 15 minutes to get, it's about a 10, 15 minute read, I would say, if even that, because it's just an ash can, but I'm super excited about it. And I want to talk about all the things. We got Everly Music. What's going on? J-Bot, you're on the show. Why don't associate with the chat? Don't associate with the chat. They're not the chat, as I like to call them. They are miscreants and delinquents, and also possibly dirty. I don't know. I've not met many.
Always associate with the chat.
I already sold you a book, man. I need to sell them a book. Hey, Chad, get your copy of Berserker. I already got you, man.
He's like, I don't care how dirty they are. I want them to buy my book.
The hedge philosophy of marketing.
As long as the money's green, baby. I got 100 copies of these bad boys to sell. So, hey, chat, Twitter, dog. Hit me up.
The joke just keeps getting worse in my head. It's like the people may be dirty, but the money is always green. Sorry.
Accurate.
I've been watching way too. Never mind. We got Crimson Law. What's going on? Oxen W. What's up? It's good to see you. The Hedge, Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge. What up? We got JVP
Hello,
music in the
Hedge.
chat. Which JVP, did you notice that some of those tracks that you kind of had to abandon a while back for a project were in my last video? Did you notice that? Shout out to JVP because he actually did some tracks and he was like, God, dude, I can't do anything with these because somebody canceled on me. He's like, here, if you want to use these in the future, you can. I was like, dude, are you sure? He's like, go for it. So JVP actually scored some of the music that was in my last video, which is the Power World video, which you guys got to check out if you have not checked out, but don't do it yet. What you do is you go to the channel and you click the 3 buttons and you say play next in queue. That way, when this is done and you're done watching, it just automatically plays the next video. And then you can go and watch that and hear the awesome tracks that JVP laid down. We got Liu, what's going on? We've got Jersey down there as well. Devaney Wilson, hello. We've also, and I think I've caught up with everybody in the chat so far. We are still waiting for one of the mans and one of the myths and also one of the legends is I don't know what the plural of legends is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce the co-host that's already here. Daniel, how you doing, man?
Been a busy week, but I am here and excited to talk about Berserker.
Dude, I'm excited to talk about like Berserker. I'm excited to talk about where Berserker comes from. I'm excited to do all of those things. Oh my God, he's here.
I can't hear anything. Of course.
Turn up your hearing aids.
There we go. There we go. My hearing aids are now.
Oh, wait.
There we go.
Yeah, but we got a mad echo.
Of course you do. Hold on.
Echo. Oh, I was gonna be like Ricola. Do we just play the Jeopardy music at this point?
We could.
Oh wait, no, I'd get copyright.
All right,
Dude,
there we go.
Did you guys?
That should fix it.
Did you guys see? Dude, I got hit with 5 copyright claims on Comic Shop Wednesday.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Holy crap! And at least 3 of them, I know the people who scored the music. I was like, what the hell?
Sorry, Royce. I didn't have anything better to do.
That's all right. At least it was you.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that is true.
That is true. Wow. Now I feel shunned. I don't even know if I'm going to introduce you now. You show up late and then you take away the one thing that I had with, oh my God, Richard does watch my channel. Even if it's just a copyright strike me, he does.
There we go. Yeah.
Richard, how are you doing, man?
This has been a good example of the week, but overall, all things considered, pretty good.
All things considered, well, at least you made it. You said technical difficulties, and I was like, usually when I have technical difficulties, like I can't solve it as quickly as you do because things just don't
I just
work.
had to unplug everything, completely reboot everything. I don't know what fixed it, but I did that twice and it reappeared. So
yeah, I did that like 5 times last time something died, and it didn't happen. And then on my final time, which was the next day when I was getting ready to package it up and and send it off for warranty, all of a sudden, I was like, I'm gonna plug it back in one more time, and sure enough, it worked. I was like, what?
That's almost worse,
dude.
It's like they know, right? It knows,
dude. Yeah. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Trouble. I better work,
dude. It's like, you're gonna get sent off for warranty, and you're gonna work after this.
Hammer solves everything.
No, it used to. It doesn't work on new technology. I know. I've tried. I've actually smacked stuff hard enough that it stopped working permanently. It went from like kind of wanting to work to just straight up just not working anymore.
Still solves the problem.
Because then the next problem is just buying a new one. So that problem's done.
I have solved one problem and created a problem for my wallet.
Yep. It was a problem for your wallet from the moment it stopped functioning. So
oh,
just an inevitability.
Yes, the inevitability. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce our fantastic guest this week. Guys, if you can't see it back here, sitting over here on the shelf, a story that I am super freaking excited to talk about. I haven't read it yet. I need to set aside time. Guys, I'm terrible at time management.
It's 5-minute read, dude. It is.
All right, well, we got 5 minutes. No, I will read it. I will read
Still
it this
better
weekend.
than my show.
I will read it.
You know, Royce, you could just let our guest introduce himself, and during that time, you could just mute, and we'll fill you in if you need to, and you could just work through that thing right now. No pressure.
I just feel like this is a setup.
No,
It's definitely a trap.
It's definitely a trap. This is absolutely a trap. No, Roy, it's fine, Royce. Just leave your channel up to us. It's okay. Nothing bad will happen while you're gone.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, we got Jay Vasquez, also known as J-Bot or Mighty Bot Studios, over on the Twix. He has a fantastic book out called Berserker. I think this has pretty much been here on this channel a crowd favorite every time we see it on Comic Shop Wednesday since the first time that we have seen it. And a bunch of people were like, we're ready for it. We want to see Berserker. We love this. Like, it's such a wholesome story. And I am so freaking excited to talk about that. But in true Royce fashion, we can't talk about it yet. Because we have to talk about you, dude. How you doing, man?
All right. I can't complain. Went to work, came back, took a nap. Now I'm here, man. Sounds like it was a good day. It was a good day. Can't complain.
You got a nap. I'm
got
jealous.
a nap, dude. What you do is you put YouTube on for the 6-year-old. Come snuggle in the bed, sweetie.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
There you go.
yep.
My problem is I can't nap. If I lay down and close my eyes, I am out for at least 4.5 to 5 hours. And there's no waking me up. Like I don't, which is consequently also the same amount of sleep I get just about every night. Like
You're just taking naps.
Yeah, I'm just taking naps, man. I just run my I take a nap somewhere between, well, let's see, it's like usually 6 hours, but yeah, I can't. I'm not like the 1 hour, like 1 hour or 2 hour nap guy. Oh, dude, I can't do that. Oh, that wrecks me so bad. Oh, like I feel miserable if I take a nap.
Oh man.
I know I've done it. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, dude. So before we get to Berserker and how all that came up, I pulled up your website, which your website says cartoonist. You say Mighty Bot Studio. Obviously, I got your Instagram over here, so we can scroll through your Instagram and check out some of these awesome pictures that you have here. But like, where does this all start with you, man? Like, obviously you got some artwork and some talent and some skill built up already. That obviously doesn't just pop up with Berserker. So, how long have you been doing this?
Oh man. So I drew like since I was like a kid, man. Like I always would like copy out of comic books. My dad draw, my dad was not an artist, but he drew as a hobby. My brother drew as a hobby. So I just always was around like art. I always had like art books around me and stuff. So I would just like, that's what I did. That was my hobby, was drawing ever since I was a kid, and got heavy into it in high school. Went to college, and I won a scholarship to go for a semester to an art school that was in downtown Chicago. And my mom wasn't like easy with me commuting to Chicago at 18 years old to go to school. So I was like, let me pick something close. So I picked some like one of those schools that's like, yeah, you could be a graphic designer and we'll find you a job after you graduate, but you have to dress like you're at work. And it's totally soul crushing, man. And so like, I hated, I didn't like college. I dropped out. Then my art suffered too. And I just like stopped doing it. I kind of kept up with it a little bit, but then I just stopped. And then like maybe like 3 years ago, man, I started like in my feed, like Ethan Van Sciver video popped up to where this is what you need to draw comics. And it's like, oh, cool. Like he went to the art store and he was like, I was like, oh, cool. I could draw again. And so I started watching his stuff about like drawing things.
Right.
And then again in YouTube, my feed was Dan Fraga's channel, but he was doing Fragtober. And Fragtober, what he'd do is he'd draw every day, have guests on every day in October, and then the chat would vote. And if you could draw along, and then he'd pull up the next day, he'd pull up the feed and show and critique everybody's art that drew along. And then they start the show where they pick another subject. And so then I started drawing again, like just to be like, hey, why don't I start drawing again? And then I just hadn't stopped. I've been too stupid to stop.
Hey, never. No, that's awesome, dude. I love that. So what was the first, like, I guess, picture that you drew and got to get you back into it? Like, what was the first thing?
Man.
Was it bad? Do you remember
I
like
don't
getting back into
know.
it? Was it bad or was it good?
It probably was bad. It probably was bad. To me, it probably was good. I can't even remember, man. It was. I'm trying to think if I was drawing traditional, or I know right after that my wife gave me the iPad, and then that really got me back into drawing because I could fix my mistakes.
There you go.
And then so I was like
Yeah.
drawing with Procreate on the iPad, and then submitting it submitting it for the Fragtober, so we could see it and critique all the artwork and stuff. And then I came across so then I started doing art stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a guy 80s made who did like a lot of like 80s content. And he's like, dude, why don't we just stream? Why don't we just hang out? And I never streamed before. So I was like, okay. So then we got together, and then we started streaming, and then I would draw while we would stream and talk about whatever, show or whatever movie or anything like that, that his stuff was 80s related content and things like that. And then I just started doing my own channel, and then I just been drawing ever since. And then I started seeing some of the stuff come out, and it's like, well, I've always had ideas. I've always written stories. I've always designed characters, and I've always done this stuff. So I'm like, well, why don't I just do something and finish something and put it out so then I could have something physically? Because when it's in your brain and you're talking about it, you don't have anything to show. You don't have shit.
Right.
So, but if at least, if you finish something and you put something out, you can show people. So yeah, I can like, hey, like this is mine. Like I can show people this is what I did. And so that's kind of the main reason why I decided to do a comic, because it's something I always wanted to do. I collected comics as a kid. My dad would take me every Wednesday to go buy comics. I was like, dude, why don't I put a comic? And then you see all the Kickstarter, all this stuff. And I'm just like, dude, I talked to my comic friends, my indie comic friends. Who do you use? How much does it cost? Oh, that's what. Okay, cool. I'm just going to print out 100 myself and sell it myself. And
Right.
And here we are. I didn't want to depend on anybody. I didn't want to play around with people's money because I never did a book before. I never shipped any books before. I never did anything like that. So I decided to front everything and put out the book. But, at least I did it. And I'm horrible at finishing things. So this was very important that I did it. So yeah, so here we are. Like, it's just like I got back into drawing and I did a book. And if I could do it, anybody can do it. So if anybody's thinking about maybe not whatever, like, just do it, man. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
just I got a game store. Like this is my job. I have I co-own a
really
retro video game store.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I take them
That's
there and
freaking
people
cool.
buy them.
Mhm.
People buy my book. I don't have to go, and I'm not doing Kickstarter and I'm looking to sell 1,000 copies, but I'm selling them at my LCS and I'm selling them at my store. I'm fucking making comics, man. I'm selling comics.
That's awesome.
Yes.
No, the two things that I would tell people that, and I like you're saying, just do it, and then never stop learning along the way.
Mhm.
Right? Like that's something that, because the just do it's going to get you into it. The learning along the way is going to make you better at it. And then that's going to make you more passionate about it. And it's like this vicious cycle, and you're just like, yeah, wait, I did this thing and it got better. And I learned something from that. And, I'm going to do that the next time too. And I'm going to learn a little bit more. And oh my God, that next thing that I did was better than the first thing that I did. And I would like, but you do have to just do it. You just do it. Just go do that thing, whatever that thing is that you want to do. You've got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So-
another trick too is if you can surround yourself with people like-minded people
Mhm.
that are better than you,
Oh yeah.
and they tell you to do it, then it's very reassuring because you're like,
Mm.
okay, some of these guys put out books before, Odin Dasco, Jason Bascom, like these, these guys have done campaigns, they've sold thousands of books, right?
Mhm.
So they're like, this is cool. Like when are you putting something out? I'm excited. They're like, okay, I got something then that gives you the confidence. If you're hanging out with people that are lesser than you and they're telling you that you're good to do it, then you might not be where you need to be. So the trick is to hang out with people better than you and get their opinion and their tips.
Yeah, I agree. I've said plenty of freaking times, like, no, like, surround yourself with people that make you feel like the lazy guy in the room, and then don't be the lazy guy in the room. You know what I mean? Because you just like when you do a vibe check in the room and you're just like, well, that guy's doing all this and that guy's doing all that and that guy's working this hard and this other dude's working even harder than that, and you're just like, what am I doing? Like, I want to be able to hang with these guys, and I can't do that if I'm not at their level. And like, I'll be damned if they're gonna leave me behind. And that's my mentality with a lot of this. And that's why I love my gilded community, because I feel like so many people in there are just constantly pushing, constantly, seeing what the next step, what the next phase is, this new thing that they're going to learn, this, and it's really, really cool. Like you say, always like hang around people that are better than you, because they will make you better. It's so freaking true. So, I have my suspicions, but I have got to ask, because we've got to get into the meat of this, man. Where did you get the idea for Berserker?
My kid.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like my kid, my daughter, she's 6 now. But she always slept with stuffed animals. She always had a stuffy, and then and the cat sleeps with her. So she always had a stuffy and she always had a cat. And I'm like, oh man. And so I had that idea like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. Like that'd be cool, like a cool story for a book, or something where like the teddy bear has to fight nightmares, and that's as far as it went. And then I was like, okay, cool. Then I started drawing again, and then we on my show, the art department that I do every Thursday, we'll do like prompts sometimes, and we'll ask the chat like, hey, like we're kind of, usually we work on projects, but sometimes we're like, yeah, we're not doing much. What do you guys?
Right.
You guys want to draw something fun? Okay, what does the chat want to draw? And it's maybe just like 3 or 4 people in my chat or whatever,
Right.
So they'll kick out something. So I can't remember. So I drew. It was an idea. It was Uncle Sam Barbarian. And I drew like Uncle Sam as like a barbarian and like fucking Mad Max. Like, it's like this barbarian with like a big US belt buckle and the hat, and he's ripped to the gills. And I'm like, oh, Uncle Sam, barbarian. Yeah, man, that's cool. And I'm like,
why
Uncle
do I
Sam.
see like Randy Savage as Uncle Sam? Like the way you just
work.
Oh yeah, America wants you.
It would work. It would
work. It would totally freaking work. Oh. So
it would totally work.
So sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, you're good, man.
My brain did some dumb stuff there, and I had to get it out so everybody else could suffer with me. Anyway,
that's why I did the book, man. I had to get it out. Now everybody has to suffer with me.
Dude, I don't think anybody's gonna suffer from this. I freaking love the premise, dude. A teddy bear that has to go fight off like the. And I wasn't sure exactly how to promo, if it was like the nightmare realm or just a nightmare or whatever. But I was like, but a teddy bear that goes into the nightmare to like rescue his person. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
It's I get it all the time where they're like, dude, I wish I would have thought about it. I'm like, yeah, it's a kind of a simple premise.
Dude,
so I did that Uncle Sam piece, and I was like, no, Uncle Sam Berserker. I was like, yeah, man, he's more than a barbarian, man. He gotta be like a berserker, dude. Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then I'm like, what about bear? Yeah, what about a bear? And then I was like, barbarian. And I was like, okay, cool. Maybe it'll be a bear. And then I was like, oh, how about berserker? I was like, fuck, man. There it
Perfect.
is.
That's awesome, man.
It's literally what the word means.
Yeah, it was like that. There I am. There it is.
So, did it was like that the moment that you were like, "Oh, I can put this to a story," or were like they two just disconnected things until all of a sudden one day you were like, "Wait a minute."
Well, I think when I drew, first I drew the like the barbarian,
Mhm.
the bear being. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, dude, I had that idea about the stuffed animals, like for it's a teddy bear, but like when I did this as a creative person, I already got 3 or 4 stories,
Right.
ideas that I could turn to stories about this whole premise. So it doesn't have to be a bear,
Right.
and it doesn't even have to be a stuffed animal.
Hmm.
So, and each nightmare realm is different. So they don't all look the same.
Oh.
Very
So
cool.
my mind's like, psh, but I had that idea of like, yeah, the teddy bear is like fighting nightmares. I was like, oh, dude, like, yeah, let me just put them together.
Dude, it makes so much freaking sense though.
Mm.
Like and everybody every time, dude, you post in the CSW chat, like and we shouted out, and everybody is like, I think you have unanimously won like 2 or 3 times at this point.
Yeah, I did show my wife. I was like, look, people like it.
Like, oh, dude, they fucking love it. It's great. Maji Chan sent in a super chat for $2. Says J-Bot. Any idea when the full book will be out?
So I get that a lot. So my idea of Berserker of this story is I didn't want to do floppies. I wanted to be a trade paperback. And I wanted to put it out as something that's like a nice, like 60, 80 page hardcover book is what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Whether it's going to stay that way or I do floppies, because I am writing it as chapters, and I probably can make each chapter a floppy if I wanted to kind of break it up into pieces. But my idea is to have Berserker as a hardcover book that you put on your shelf.
Oh, I like that.
So it's everybody's like, when is
Yeah.
it? I have no date on it. I'm working on it, but I am working on another project too. So while I work on Berserker, I have 2 other projects that I'm kind of thinking about. One I'm starting right now that I'm going to be doing a floppy. So I'm going to do my first floppy, like 24, 22 page comic book is what I already started working on now, that a premise I had while I was doing this book. And I want to do it. So I'm bouncing back and forth. So I'm not being bored of Berserker, because I get bored easy. So I have to have something else to work on. So I'm going to be doing a floppy, and then while I'm working on Berserker. So when the actual Berserker book is going to come out, I don't know, to be honest. But I already have 4 chapters written for it. Nothing, thumbnailed or drawn yet, but I'm writing the story first. So I know the story beats that I want. Now I'm just filling in the cracks of getting there. I already know how it starts. I know the middle. I know the rise, the fall. I know the ending. I know all of that. I'm just filling in the cracks with my writing right now.
There you go.
But I don't want to be beholden to working on that, because like I said, I get bored easily. So I'm going to do little projects while I'm working on the big project, and the big project's Berserker.
Well, and that gives you a little bit of reprieve too. You get to take a break. It's like, man, like my brain just doesn't want to like focus on this thing today. It's I'll just go focus on this, clear the gutters out a little bit or whatever, And then I really like that, man. That's really cool. So, and it sounds like you've got like more than like one project in the fire to kind of keep you going while you're working on this.
Yeah. I mean, because I've already been talking about the other project too, so I could talk about that anytime you want, or now, or whenever, man.
Dude, it's your show at this point. You talk about what you want to talk about, man.
I'll get some stuff. Maybe I could find some images or something. I mean, if you scroll through my Instagram, are you going to do like a live scroll of it or something? Because I can point it out.
It got mad at me, and it was like, you need to log in. And I hate logging in on stuff. I don't even know if it'll let me. It might. Dude, I hate logging in on stuff.
I put everything on Twitter, to be honest. I'll just share screens and stuff. But yeah, the idea is to do work on other. Sorry, I'm getting weird messages. I hate when I get weird messages on
oh, it's so wonderful
on Twitter. I'm like, who is this? Yeah, I'll just pull up my stuff and things like that. But yeah, so the idea is, when's Berserker coming out? I don't know, because I want it to be my magnum opus is what I want. But while I'm working on it, if I'm able to do floppies, my wife's like, people are going to want it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just don't want to be forced to put it out. because
you
then I
shouldn't.
feel like, you know what I mean? I do want to give people what they want, but at the same time, I don't want to be forced to put it out because I'm afraid the quality might lack. And I don't want to be forced to do anything. And that's why I like drawing and like doing my stuff. I like doing things at my own pace. I don't like to answer to people.
Right.
Yes.
No, I get you there. Dude, you got some great art. I'm scrolling through your Instagram right now on the live stream, man. You got some freaking awesome stuff here, dude. It's so freaking cool.
It's one thing is like I'm watching I never, growing up, I always wanted to be like, freaking Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee, like those were the guys that I was like reading and Sam Keith and things like that. And it's just like those are the guys that I like wanted to draw, especially like Silvestri and stuff. And even like, man, when Joe Mads came on the scene and was drawing like, X-Men and then Battle Chasers, and like that's what I wanted to do. Like that's how I wanted to draw. And then it's like, dude, you can't draw like that, man. I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to draw like that.
Dude, but dude, like I'm digging your style, man. It got some like Cuphead style stuff going on here. You've got, like very, very old school, like cartoon style. And I don't see a lot of that. And it's really refreshing. And you mix it in with like deep shadowing and things like that. And that I really love it when people can do good shadowing work. And
I find it fun to just fill in blacks too. I'm like, yeah, baby, look at this.
dude, you do a good job with it though. Like, I mean, like it's really, really freaking good, man.
Thanks.
Like,
That's the thing to like being an artist is like, I'm not gonna be those guys, but I'm gonna be the best me that I can be, and I'm gonna draw the way I want to draw. So it's fun for me, because if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to do it. This is a hobby. I'm supposed to have fun. I'm making these things. I'm having fun. I'm going to draw the way I want to draw, and I have no apologies for it. And if you don't like it, I understand. I know it's not for everybody. And that's cool. But I'm not. It's not going to make me change how I'm going to draw. And I'm going to become. The idea is to become so good at my style that when I draw other people's stuff in my style, it'll be different and they'll enjoy it. At least that's the idea.
Dude, that's dude, that's freaking but I like that, man. So dude, is that a scene from Pocahontas? What is that a scene from?
That's is Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice, God.
Yes.
I was like, I
Yes,
know
it
this
is.
thing, but it's been, God, dude, I think I saw bits and pieces of it when I was younger.
Dude, I grew up watching Fire and Ice and looking at Frank Frazetta books. This is why I like thick women. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. But one of my biggest influence, mans, is like it's Frank Frazetta.
Mm-hmm.
It's Osamu Tezuka, creator of Astro Boy. It's like, dude, those are like my biggest influence. And of course, you have the early Walt Disney stuff, the Fleischers, Max Fleischer with their Fleischer, their Popeyes, and their Betty Boops and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm ahead of the curve right now. And I'm gonna tell you guys this: in about 2 or 3 years, the Fleischer style is gonna be the new anime. People are gonna be going batshit over it. It's gonna be the new coolness in about 5 years. So I'm ahead of the curve right now. I see it coming.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first. Because even anime is starting to become so like, you know what I mean? Like everything's starting to look the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even
where
a
it's
lot of
like-
like American stuff is like emulating that anime style now.
Yeah.
That's why I chose an older anime style for doing my comic adaptation. Is the new stuff all just looks exactly the same now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I feel like they got with the manga and stuff, what they got us beat is like their in terms of like American comics is you have usually it's like one guy, and usually he's the artist or something, and he has his vision, and that vision doesn't get passed on to somebody. It's very rare that something runs long and the vision gets passed on to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have like 80 people writing Spider-Man. You're not going to have like 20 people write, like 30 people would have wrote One Piece already if it was an American comic. You know what I mean? So it's like you have one guy, it's his vision, and everybody's sticking with it, and he's just making that bank. And then when he's done, like I said, One Piece and Dragon Ball, like these things are like, not the norm, but like you have somebody, Cowboy Bebop. You have an idea, the idea's done, the story's done. okay, cool, man. Let's move on to the next thing.
Yep.
Okay, what's his next story? Like almost like games. What's their next game? The studio puts out a game. Cool. What's their next game? You know, they're not gonna making Cuphead for 50 years. You know, what's their next game? What's their next thing? You know, and that's what makes it exciting to where it's not like, well, we're just here's Cuphead Part 7, man. Like, oh shit, okay, man. Like,
That's something with the Western
Cuphead
audience.
2049.
Cuphead 2049. Dude, that's something with like Western audiences I've been knowing is like everybody's like, well, yeah, but it's like they're gonna be a sequel, and I'm like, there doesn't need to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Mhm.
Just
it's
stop.
a nice
Leave
story.
it alone.
Can we just do like one and done stuff? And no, and like everybody's like, oh, we're so tired of sequels, and we're so tired of all this stuff. And every single time a sequel comes up, everybody's like, oh my god, I'm so excited. And I'm like, didn't you just get done saying like 4 tweets ago that you were tired of sequels?
Mhm.
You know, and but it's just there's something about like the Western audiences. It's like we just want stories to just never die. Or it's just like even those characters. It's like because the stories will just inhabit like different characters over the course of time because we've only got so many stories that we can tell. But we can always
Correct.
plop different characters in there. But it's like the Western audiences like we don't even want to like let those characters just like end eventually. We just want them to continue on into obscurity, which
A
I
lot of
don't
it's
know that
studios
that's.
too.
I don't know that that's true. I
Mhm.
think it's more based on the corporatism behind it all. And
Well,
Yeah.
people are just accustomed to accepting whatever entertainment is there. You know, we're America specifically, if you consider 20, 30 years ago, was the couch potato period where you got off of work, everybody came and sat down on the couch and you watched sitcoms for the evening. We've been trained sort of to just accept whatever's put in front of us for entertainment after we're done our work day and our personal things. It's a bit of a different mentality overseas, and that's where manga did what it did and became slowly but surely prevalent. It started just like dime store novels did. It was kind of a small thing that grew into something greater than its intention.
by us. Like
Yeah.
they were inspired by the American comics. I mean, and they kind of emulated a lot of that. I mean, even still today, like it's so funny. Like the creator of My Hero Academia, huge Spider-Man fan.
Oh yeah.
Which is why, funny enough, like Midoriya. Oh, he's running around like Spider-Man, but not Spider-Man, like using like damn near the same powers. He like does the same jumps and the same poses that were some of like, I can't remember the creator of My Hero Academia, but like, yeah, he's a huge Spider-Man fan. It's all over that. Like, and now like American audiences are being inspired by like manga that was inspired by American comics, and it's just like, okay, this is weird.
And most of the time they don't even realize that they're inspired by their own past.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. But I think what made My Hero Academia work too is that you took it to the very root of being a hero. Like it wasn't like, and modern comics kind of weren't getting that. You were at that point to us, Spider-Man was jaded. The poor guys, I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell they were doing with Spider-Man, but dude, Spider-Man wasn't that cool. And X-Men weren't cool. And so then you grab, so they're like, okay, what made them cool? And they grab like all these characters, and they when manga and the Japanese tend to do something, they tend to make it start at the base, and then they build on top of it. Here you have a kid who didn't have powers, but he wanted powers because he wanted to help people.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, like, all right, forget about politics, forget about like weird relationships or gender or whatever stuff that they keep inserting into modern comics, and it's mainly a lot of it's the big two too, but it's just like they were just like, yeah, here we are, and then here's ground zero, like here's issue 1, and then now that generation that didn't have Spider-Man and stuff because it was lame, now they have something like that, and it's it's My Hero, it's manga, it's Naruto, it's Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like all this stuff, it's One Piece, and they can go easily and start. Let me get number 1.
Right.
Yeah, all of those things capitalize on youthful idealism.
Mhm.
That's the base that Western comics have lost.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That and
Well-
it's a jumping off point. I think Western comics have to restart every few years. I think you have to. I think Spider-Man has to every 5 years or 6, whatever, 10 years. Let's say every 10 years, you have to restart Spider-Man so the next generation can get into them because they're not going to go to issue 500 and whatever. I mean, I don't think you can have those run
Well,
long.
You know, and man,
Things need to have an ending.
I almost want to disagree. I don't think Spider-Man needs to restart every 5 or 10 years. I would say this, like, end Spider-Man on like the best damn run that Spider-Man has ever had. And which could still happen. I don't know. I mean, it's not likely, but it could still happen. But you end it
already
there
did like 20
and then
years
like
ago.
leave it in the legacy stuff, because here's the thing is like people still go back and they still check out the old stuff that's great, you know? So it's like Spider-Man can always be there, but his story doesn't like always need to continue, you know? Like it can have an end.
Would you say that there's a difference that you feel between comics and novels in terms of how long what their shelf life is? You know what I mean? Would you feel like maybe we need to rewrite certain stories, or do you feel like that's already being done in the sense that, you know, there's various archetypal stories that are being retold in different ways within novels?
I feel with novels, I think novels is more like of a long form of storytelling. You know, that's why you can have like 9 and people wait for it to come out. But and that's another thing too, is that when you're waiting for comics to come out every month, you're doing 12. The stories move faster. You know, so you have less of a, you know, I think you do the novels have more of a shelf life because I think it's kind of ingrained in it. In terms of like,
Yeah,
and there are classic novels. There's like now they're starting to be classic, you know, comic books, you know, Jack Kirby, Fantastic Four. There's stuff that people go back to. You know, I think novels are longer form, and I think they capitalize on it because you're waiting years. Can you imagine if you had to wait? You had
Well,
even if you did a comic book too, like if I did a 100-page comic book and the next 100-page comic book didn't come out for 3 years. I don't think people would be, like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, anymore, have you noticed that the in-demand like lifestyle that all of us kind of live? Have you noticed that's just like been just like injected? People are like, well, I can order whatever I want on Amazon and get it in 2 days. Why can't I order your next book in 2 days? It's like, dude, I haven't even written it yet. Like, have you seen that change? Like the comic crowd, or like the novel crowd or anything like that? Like I feel like there's just a small amount of people that are willing to like wait for something to come out nowadays versus just, oh, it's got to be right now, you know? Have you noticed like a change? Have you seen that? Or no, well, especially being in like owning a game store, like you say, like, or no, or am I off base on that? Is it a lot less than I think it is?
I think it was popular when like quick stuff was popular when it came out. Streaming,
Right.
Games on demand. If people weren't buying old stuff, I wouldn't have a living. There would be nothing I would do.
Right.
I sell retro video games. I sell some new stuff too, you know, whatever comes in because all my stuff is used. But I have a whole CD, DVD, Blu-ray section, and I sell vinyl records. And people are going gaga over physical movies again because they want to own stuff. And it's not whatever the Zoomers, whatever's after millennials and stuff. It's the next generation coming up. They enjoy owning physical media. They appreciate it. And they might stream stuff, but if they want it, they want to own it. And they don't want to have to depend on people or Netflix to watch what they want to watch. I did a Donkey Kong tournament on Sunday. We had 10 people show up. 7 of them were in high school. Didn't grow up with Donkey Kong. And we're talking about like Donkey Kong on the Nintendo.
Oh, like OG, like
OG Donkey Kong.
holy shit.
They're all, and they come every month when I do my high school tournaments. I do Galaga, I did Donkey Kong Jr., I did Pac-Man,
Nice.
and Centipede. They show up every month to play OG games.
Dude,
And one of them bought a CRT TV, and the kid's like, "Yeah, this is my 4th one." The young kids coming up now, they like retro stuff, and they want to own it. They're not into streaming stuff. Sure, they might stream stuff on their phone for music or whatever, but if they like something, they're gonna buy it. The same thing with the manga and their books that they're collecting. If they read it and they like it, they're gonna buy it.
I just heard. No, I didn't watch it. I saw a thumbnail. No, I think it was like Asmongold. Asmongold. He just like reacted to a video about how like the younger, like Gen Z, they want old games. Like people are playing older games now. That's funny that you say that because I just saw that this week. I actually meant to watch that video and I didn't. Like
The top 10 most watched television series right now from statistics are television shows that ended, I want to say 8 to 10 years ago.
no kidding.
I believe it.
Well, it's like what Friends was the #1 show on Netflix for like what 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Dude, I remember when that show ended. I was a
the
child.
most viewed.
I was younger than my oldest daughter. Like when Friends ended, and like it's still popular.
I sell seasons all the time of Friends.
No
House.
kidding.
Yeah.
House was good. House was that's
Lost for some reason. People are buying Lost. I'm like, please. I've had 10 copies of season 1. Somebody please buy this for me.
Dude, I was gonna get into Lost, and then so many people that I know are like, don't. They're like, just don't. And I'm like, no, but I heard it was really
The
good.
title is what happened to the writer's room. They got lost.
I tried listening to somebody talk about like that time travel paradox BS they had in there, and I was like, wait. What's going on? And they're like, exactly. And I'm like, I don't, yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just nope out on Lost.
Yeah, it's not worth it. The first couple of seasons were great, but the original premise was changed midway through production.
Oh.
That's why it went off the rails the way it did. Because it blew up. It got so interesting. They were like, no, this needs to be longer than it was. And the whole set of writing staff went, fuck, what do we do? So they started adding a bunch of stuff in and it just went off the rails.
I feel like,
and go ahead, bud. I'm sorry.
oh, no. Go for it, man. Go for it.
I was going to say, I think what we need in terms of like creativity and like artistic people that are creating things, whether they're writing things or whether they're drawing things, whatever they're creating, is I think we need to go back and kind of look at like, I think we need to be more like Bill Watterson, who created and drew Calvin and Hobbes. Come out with your thing and put it out. And when it's done, like it's done.
Be done with it. Yep.
And then do something else. It doesn't mean that you're done with creating, you know, you can always come back to that thing. If he wanted to, he could go, I bet you he could crowdfund a Calvin and Hobbes and freaking, man, it would shoot through the roof. Just to, I'm doing a book of 100 comic strips or whatever. And then everybody would go ape shit and everybody would buy it. Do your thing. And you have to, and I don't know how Hollywood works. I don't know how none of that stuff works. But when you have creatives and you're doing a show and the show is good and you have something planned and they're like, no, you have to do this. I think as creatives, we have the chance now to be like, no, this is how it's going to end. And then we'll do another show for you. We got another idea. And then you could say from the creators of Lost, imagine if Lost ended how they had planned and people would still be talking about it today. Not how shitty it was, but how good it was. And then a year later, they're like, from the creators of Lost, here's Found. I don't know, man. Fucking.
Well, like didn't who was Royce think why was it the creator of Hunter x Hunter did something before that? He did something, but anyway, but what you're talking about, like there again, we were talking about Japanese media, like they do that.
Yep.
They finish up a thing and then they go and they move on to the next thing. It's like it's very rare when like you know somebody in manga and all that. Like Akira Toriyama was one of the few who like kept doing who like who was like it's done, it's over, and then came back to it. You know,
Yeah, that's like one of the everybody lost their shit when Super came out.
oh, dude.
Or no, not Super.
remember.
What the
Yeah.
fuck was it? GT. When GT
Oh.
came out, I heard a lot of people didn't like it because he wasn't involved. He was like, "Okay, I'm done." And then he wants to do like Doctor Slump and and draw cool machines and shit.
He was involved a little bit, like not entirely. I still like GT. I don't give a shit.
People, I sell out of GT. I get it in, and people scoop it up. They're like, "It's not bad." I don't know what people were talking about.
Yeah,
people like it. Like the young kids buy it. They're like, "This is dope." I don't know what they're talking about. What's wrong with you people?
Awful Crimson Law's in the chat. He's wrong. It's okay. If he's too wrong, I'll ban him. It's fine. No, GT wasn't that bad. Like,
stand up for yourself, Crimson Law.
I like Dragon Ball more than Dragon Ball Z. Like I love OG Dragon Ball. I love the adventure of going to find the Dragon Balls with Bulma and the Yamcha and the pig dude and I mean all that. I like that stuff. And then it became like, what's your power level? I'm gonna charge a fucking Hadouken for an hour.
Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The only thing that matters in anime is how hard the villain gets punched.
Can't wait for that moment.
I'm one of those guys, right? Like I am. That's all I care about. I don't care. But the character don't care. But the story still don't care. But like the fun moments, I don't. When people are like, "Yeah, but what about that slice of life episode?" I'm like, I don't care. I want to see that dude punch that dude harder than he punched the last dude. That is, and people just look at me and they're like, "Royce, you're a moron." I'm like, I know.
You made me think of what is it? Kung Pao Enter the Fist. When he
Yes.
punches the plug out of that one guy, and then he comes back later and he has the plug on a chain.
Oh my god, I forgot about that movie. I have gopher chucks.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
I love when they're like, they trained the dude wrong. That's hilarious. How do you like my face to your foot style? I win. I'm bleeding first. I win. It's like, what? Dude, I took my girlfriend to go see that. She's not my wife, but that was one of the first movies we saw, and she just was like, "What did you take me to watch?" I'm like, "I don't know, babe. I don't know."
It's great. This is great. Oh, I love it, dude. Man, I forgot about that movie. Oh, I gotta go watch that stupidity.
Again,
now.
only one. He did one.
I know, and it's great.
There's only one. Like, he just did one. He didn't do 5. He did one. It was good. All right, moving on.
Yeah,
sometimes we
Odin
need to do
Kirk's
that.
done a bunch of one shots, and they're all campy, hilarious.
Oh god. Yeah, dude, there's a ton out there that were just one. Like there's a bunch of movies that dude, when they announced like they're doing like the Joker 2, and I'm like, God, come the fuck on. Can they? But no, we all knew they were going to, because that movie made $1 billion and they made it on like a $35 million budget or something like that. Or like it's just
I have no idea.
It was some ridiculously small budget.
See, I don't mind Joker 2 because Joker felt, and this is weird, like it felt like a movie, man. You know what I mean? Like it felt like a real movie.
It was
like with directors and adults. You know what I mean? Like making it, like it felt like a real fucking movie.
Yeah, but it feels like they're gonna fuck it up. Like I don't know. Maybe it's because they fucked up too much. Like I'm just like,
that there are certain things that come out where you have to divorce yourself from the original concept in order to really appreciate what it is that they were trying to create. That's hard to do with the Joker.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but the guy who, and I can't remember the director's name. At one point in time, I could remember, but he didn't want to write. And he even flat out said he was like, he didn't really want to write a superhero movie or like a comic book character movie. He wanted to write a story about somebody who had a specific mental, like he wanted to write a movie about people who had like lived in an area, and it was like societal problems and all that. But he was like, but those movies won't get greenlit unless it's got Marvel or DC on it. So he literally just like put the Joker in there in like a non-Joker movie only because, and he knew it would sell. And I'm like, don't get me wrong, great marketing tactic. But what that tells me is that now that the studios are like, oh, you made $1 billion off of a movie that like had a tiny budget. Now they're going to go in, and it's just, I don't think it's going to be like the first one anymore because of that. Because he told his story, he had to mask it under the guise of a comic book style movie, right? Which, again, smart play, because I think the story was great. I think he had a lot of good themes in there, a lot of good elements in there. But I don't think that, I don't know. I don't feel that they're going to carry that to the next movie. I just don't.
I mean, I guess the question would be if he had it written or had an idea of the story it was before he put the Joker in. I mean, the thing is, he already has the character created, and what he had. So if he's grabbing that character and giving that character a girlfriend and then exploring that, and that's something that they want to do, I think it could be good. I saw the trailer; it looked interesting. Like I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm like, all right. Like it looks like a movie.
Yeah.
It looks like a real damn movie.
I will say this, though. They did say they didn't do CGI. They said everything in it was practical, which, and I honestly think with like the rise of AI and everybody doing that, I think a lot of filmmakers are going to go back to the practical to separate themselves from all the computer generated crap that's going to come out in the next, 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we might actually start getting films back again.
I think that's what everything needs to go. I think that's the future. The future is independence. The future is small scale. The future is telling good stories. I mean, after being on YouTube and listening for years on how like comic book shops are closing and freaking like all the comics are woke and nothing's good anymore, whatever. When I started working on Berserker, I started going to my local comic shop. Now, granted, they just don't sell comics. They're a store like mine.
Right.
They sell like records and movies and all that stuff. And they have a big selection of comics, and they get weekly comics in.
Yeah, they're like
I'm looking at
stores now. They're like media stores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm going and I'm looking at because I grew up X-Men, all that stuff. Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men was anything Spider-Man. That's what I collected as a kid. I don't care about that stuff anymore. I want to see the weird stuff. I want to see the stuff that's different. So I'm looking there and I'm just looking at, Marvel and DC has a decent section. But then you look at Image, you look at Scout, you look at Antarctic Press and all these other people that are doing indie stuff. And it's like, that's the future. That's where you're going to find your good stories. You're not going to find it you're going to find one guy who's making the damn book and being like, here's my baby, publish it. That's the stuff that we have to go back to. Everything blew up so big. Now it's like the collapse. Now you're going to have that. It's like a black hole, whatever the hell, Nova, some sciencey shit.
Yeah.
It blows up and then it has to come in. Mm-hmm. That's what we're getting. That's where we're going to get all the good stories. That's where we're going to get all the good movies. It's like I said, I mean, like you said, look at Joker. Joker felt like a movie. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm going to the theater to see a movie. You're not going and seeing CGI stuff invading your brain. Mm-hmm. And there's a time and place for that too. But it's just like, oh, there's more than one type of movie, and it's not a Marvel or DC movie where shit's blowing up. Like, that's
the issue. I think I like the balance of new tech and classic storytelling. Mm-hmm. Underrated film, in my opinion, came out a while ago called Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, which was all done green screen. Everything in it was rendered, but the story itself was absolutely fantastic. And each detail put into the green screen background that the characters had to pretend to interact with was so well detailed that there were points where you forgot it was all green screen. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was like, I was looking for more of those things when that movie came out. I'm like, ooh, this is something new. And then nobody else got into it. And I'm like, oh,
so Lucas got into it.
Yeah. Dude, Chris Moonlight doing what he's doing with Escape from what is it, Omega 13?
Escape from Planet Omega 12.
Yeah, Omega 12. That's what it is.
Dude,
what he's doing with the combination of modern technology and filmmaking and animatronics blended into it, and it's so interesting.
And hand-drawn backgrounds.
Yep.
And CGI and he's doing some, and he's using AI stuff to help kind of do like the rendering and stuff like that, and motion
Yeah.
and modern day motion capture, practical effects, props, puppeteering. I mean,
Mhm.
everything that we have ever put into a movie. All
And
of
that's
the
what I'm
stuff
talking about.
that we
Yeah.
have used for the last 100 years of filmmaking, he is combining all of those elements into one like sci-fi animated film. The guy's been working on this for years. We talked almost a year and a half ago,
Yeah, he's been
and
hard at work on it.
and it's awesome what he is doing.
That's what
And
I would like to see in filmmaking is the blend of classic with the new technology that can take it to that next level.
Mhm. I think that's what it's there for too. I think you're supposed to be using like CGI and those things to kind of help you, not depend on it, and not be the whole
Correct.
the whole thing. And you know,
everything in
and
moderation. Everything in moderation, man. And that's where it's got
plus,
to be.
plus movies are being made by committee now, man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like everything's
true.
like we gotta have this in it, we gotta have that, and there gotta be a big giant light beam shining in the sky, and there has to be a big battle at the end. Like, okay, cool. Like, and then that's what we were, and it was like, wow, we've never seen anything like this, and then everything was like it.
Mhm.
And
And there
Superman
has
was
to be
punching
at least
laser
one
beams.
butt
Like, what
pose.
the fuck, man?
Dude. Yeah. Oh man, no, you're right. Yeah, it used to be like unique.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dude, they've taken some of my favorite movies ever and they've made sequels, and I'm just like, nope, I don't. Like, what am I Independence Day, man. Dude, the original Independence Day. Oh, fucking incredible.
Should have
Love it.
never had a sequel.
Never should have had a sequel. And I chose not to watch it. Like, I still, and I need to actually see it because apparently it's good, but like Top Gun Maverick, I gave up on that movie before it even came out. And then it came out and everybody's like, this movie is incredible. And then the one review that mattered to me the most is I was talking with my parents about it when I was visiting them. And my dad is like, he's like, yeah, your mom and I watched it. I was like, oh yeah. I said, was it as good as the original Top Gun? Because the original Top Gun's like one of my favorite movies of all time. I fucking love that movie. And my dad, and my dad never says this about any movie. My dad's like, yeah, it was a movie. Like that's how my dad is, right? That's his answer to everything. Yeah, you know, I watched it. It was okay. You know, like that's, and he goes, it was probably better than the first one, and you should watch it. And when my dad said that, I was like, oh, I need to watch it. Like,
It was a movie.
Like it was. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I still haven't seen it because I remember how I told you I suck at time management. Dude, I don't even watch movies anymore.
But it's like, you know, you like watch some, like, I'm watching a real, something clicks in your brain. You're like, I'm watching a real movie. You're just like, oh, this is great. Let me settle in. You know,
Right.
It's like, that's what we need. We need artistic vision back. Stuff needs to be stopped being made by committee and corporate, you know, freaking, you know, corpo lapdogs and shit. You know, it's always just, it's like, oh, okay, this has to be in it. That has to be in it. I think, you know, that's why I feel like everything is going to start going small. Maybe indie is the future. Indie's the way to go, man.
Oh, I totally agree.
You know, I mean, just imagine if they grab like, okay, the guy did the Joker. Okay, he did the Joker. Imagine doing a Batman movie like that. Not like the Batman, because I didn't like the Batman.
Yeah, no.
But something that's like
Dude,
Batman got to solve a crime, and that's the whole fucking movie is Batman solving a crime and
Dude,
talking to police and shit. And you know, oh man, but it looks like Taxi Driver, or it looks like
Right.
Chinatown, and he's just like trying to solve this crime, and then it's just
Detective
fucking
Comic
mad
style.
scientist. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, taking
and
clues and CSI and shit, and
Yep.
And they could have done that with I think the closest they've ever come to doing like that, like he's talking to cops and like solving the crime and all that, was The Dark Knight. And that's the closest. I'm not saying he did exact like the OG, you know, solving the crime, but like I think that's the closest any Batman movie has ever gotten to that. But it was still this big over the top you know what I mean?
yeah. I think they tried to do it in the Batman, and that's what I appreciated it.
All right.
That you had him at the crime scene with Commissioner Gordon and the police. And they're just like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm like, okay. I was like, so I thought that was cool. Like, oh, and that's what made me want to see it. Like, was it going to be, were we getting Detective Batman? But lo and behold, everybody kind of tells them everything. Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Oh yeah, thanks for the tip. Like the guy doesn't discover shit himself. I'm like, good job, Batman. Like,
No, great. Yeah,
you got
yeah,
the scrawny dude as Batman. Like, all right, guys, like I'm gonna punch 12 guys. I'm like, dude, it's not happening.
Oh man. Oh.
20
Yeah,
straight minutes of looking downward.
Yeah. He doesn't look up. Like I'm like, dude, and
Wait,
ironically,
seriously?
like he's like,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
watched
God.
like Reacher, like me and the wife watched like the first season of Reacher before we saw that Batman.
I really
and I like what
liked
they were
the first
doing because
season.
they were trying to make him like a Michael Myers, the way he would like walk out of the shadows and shit. But he's a small dude. Now imagine if you had like that dude from Reacher dressed as Batman walking out of the fucking shadows and he beats the shit out of 4 guys.
Yeah, but ain't that dude like 6'7"? Like Reacher's
Who gives
a
a
big
shit?
dude.
Batman isn't a small guy.
Alan
that's-
Richardson is huge.
I mean, he's
Have you guys ever
like
seen Blue Mountain State? I feel like
Yeah.
I must
I've
be the
heard
only
of it.
person. Okay,
I have
I was
seen
gonna
it.
Say, that's
I've-
all I can think of with whenever I see.
Blue Mountain State. Wait, wasn't
Alan
that on like
Christensen.
ABC Family or?
I don't. It's certainly not a family show.
Was that
No.
on Spike?
No. What was that one? It was. I just remember on cable. It was like Channel 33. Like Cartoon Network was 31, and Channel 33 was like this other one where they had like
I
it was
don't
like
know.
teen, like all the teenage like romance shows and shit like that. What was- oh, fuck, what was-
It's
that
just
like the
definitely not
college
a
one?
teen romance show.
No, I don't remember. It, dude. It's been. But that show's like 15 years, 20 years old.
I mean, yeah. If we want to start feeling old about things.
Okay. Fuck you, Richard. Was that just your way to be like, hey guys, do you remember how old we are? Fuck you, Richard.
No, that was anyway. Never mind.
Make your point, Richard.
Well, I'm just saying, I can only think of him as Thad in Blue Mountain State,
Oh,
where
God,
he's
no, I
like
got it.
always screaming and freaking out.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
That's the same guy who plays Reacher.
Mhm. Alan Richardson.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was Raphael in the Ninja Turtle movies too. Like he did the motion
is he
capture
really?
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? I had no
I
idea.
haven't
He tells a
seen
horror story about it. He's like, dude, they treated us like ass. Like a poor guy. It's
No
like they're like the
kidding.
stars of the movie, and they treat all the turtles like shit in those Michael Bay movies.
Dude, Michael Bay, man.
I forgot
like,
that
that
he
guy
even made
just
those. I've like
Yeah.
blocked a lot of Michael Bay movies
like,
out
dude,
of my mind.
here's the, and I know so many people are like, I liked the first Transformers movie.
It was good for what it was, man.
It was good, but man, everything after that was fucking. Well, Bumblebee was good.
His whole goal is make massive amounts of money.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he's interested in. So, you can't expect too much from the guy.
D-
Well,
But he
Bumblebee
does
was good
produce
'cause-
some pretty epic stuff when he
Yeah.
first starts them.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah,
And then he milks that shit until it's all dried up.
dude.
Yeah, people say the same thing. They like first Transformers and they like Bumblebee because Bumblebee gave us the Gen 1 Transformers.
Mhm.
I still haven't seen it, but it's just like, I don't know. I mean, after 7
It-
movies, I'm kind of like, I'm out.
Dude,
man.
actually, it was really good. Like even my wife and I were like it was. I will say this: watch it because it's refreshing. Like it really is. It's like, it's like you leave. You get that first glass of water. Like you're working outside, you get that first glass of water. And then you set it in the hot sun. And then after a while, you keep taking a sip, and it keeps warming up. It keeps warming up. And you're like, crap. And that's like what the Transformers did. They just got hot, and it's like, dude, I can't drink this anymore. So you go inside and you get that fresh glass of water. That's like what Bumblebee is. It is refreshing because you're like, okay, this is what I want. And it was really cool. It was really cool to see that movie and just kind of how they did it. Still a little over the top because it's fucking Transformers. I actually don't know how you could not be over the top with Transformers, but it was really cool. It was really, really cool.
I didn't see the Beast Wars one. Was that one any good?
Oh god, dude, I don't even want to see the Beast. Dude, have you tried watching Beast Wars? As
It
an
was
adult?
not.
Listen, when Beast Wars came out, it was the shit, man.
Oh,
It was
dude,
the
I
Beast
I
Wars
had the toys,
and Reboot
man.
were the
Trust
shit,
me.
dude.
Dude, Beast Wars and then Beast Wars Cybertron, man.
Yeah, dude, they were dope. I'm not even gonna
Dude,
lie. So I was stoked to see Optimus Primal, so I might just check it out just to see him.
Dude, I tried.
The effects are
watching-
great, but the story's just
Yeah,
I tried
sounds about
watching
right.
Beast Wars like 2 years ago. I
That'd
made
be
it
so bad, dude.
Dude, I made it 10 minutes. I made it 10 minutes into the first episode, and I was hyped too. I was like, oh my God, like I remember that. And I sat down and I was like, I'm going to watch this. And then like, I'm going to show the kids this. I made it 10 minutes and I was like, I'm never showing the kids this.
I'm never showing this ever again.
Like, dude, It was really bad. That's one of the few cartoons I remember from when I was a kid. Because that's when they tried to do like 3D everything. It was like computer generated 3D. Oh my god, it was horrible.
It was like 2 shows. Like it was like Reboot, and then it was that show, and like that was it.
Oh yeah. Well, because they realized it was not good. Like it was not good. Well, and not only that, but like right after that, you started getting kind of like the invasion of like the kid friendly like animes, like the Yu-Gi-Ohs and the Pokemons and the Digimon and all that stuff. And America was like, wait a minute, all this 2D hand drawn stuff is like what? No, like we thought the kids were done with that. No, turns out you just have to write a good fucking story.
Yeah.
Or just tell children that, hey guys, you can control monsters too. Whether they're cute and adorable, they're large beasts that just can absolutely wreck shit. Like you guys can be monster tamers too. And all of it, because that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon and Pokemon were. They were all the same things. It was just kids running around slinging monsters around at people. That's all it was. And that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Co-opt the Japanese intellectual property and run it through the FCC. You'll be fine.
Oh, fuck. That's what they do.
Oh man,
That's exactly what they did.
It's so
mid-90s,
true.
I think. It was what had to be mid-90s.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if Batman was the animated series was running then too.
That was 93,
Yeah.
92, 3? No. 93. It was like 93 to like 96 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. 93, definitely.
And then they tried to do the next one, which like nobody remembers, but it was like The Adventures of Batman or something like that. What was the one that came after?
It might have been the Batman.
No.
Batman.
No, it wasn't the Batman, because it was like, so it was the original Batman the animated series, and then it was like The Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And that only ran for like a season.
Yeah, that was really short-lived.
It was really short-lived because nobody gave a shit. And then I think Superman the animated series was still kind of running in that time period. And then they stopped
that's the Justice League period.
Yeah, then they had the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which both of those shows go down in history as like some of the best ever. And then right after Justice League was like, it was like the 2000s, and everything's got to be techie and everything. And then Batman.
Oh, you're talking about Batman Beyond?
Fuck yeah, I'm talking about Batman Beyond.
Oh, Batman Beyond was dope.
Dude,
Yeah, it
I
was.
fucking love Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond was so good. Even the wrap up episodes they did in Justice League Unlimited were so good.
Dude, oh my god, that episode is so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part. Is like that's by Batman. Like any Batman that comes out, man, it gets is compared to fucking animated beat ass Batman. Like,
Yeah.
Any movie Batman, it's like, no man, is it as good as Kevin Conroy? Is it as good as like that? That's my fucking Batman.
It will never be as good as Kevin Conroy.
No.
I love Keaton Batman too.
God rest his soul.
I don't
but
like Keaton Batman. I've tried. I
love
don't
Keaton
like
Batman. You had to be there. It's one of those things you had to be there. You couldn't believe they were making a fucking Batman movie.
Dude, I wasn't.
It was like
Yeah.
black and in armor
until 91.
Man, we're just like, what is that's Batman? Oh, dude, that's the Joker. Like what? Yeah, that's my Batman.
That promo when the Keaton Batman came out, where he grabs the thug, pulls him real close, and he goes, "I'm Batman." That was just it. It was just like,
it's such.
This is what I've always wanted as a child.
You're just like, yeah. And they start, and I like to introduce you with Batman. Like more movies have to do that. Don't do the origin and then have him be as the hero. Start him as the hero and fill in the origin later. I mean, how many people? You know, people don't want to sit through. You got to start with something, man. You got to,
well,
you know. Yeah, that's how Berserker's starting. When the Berserker book starts, he's not this one, the one I'm writing. He's in the Nightmare Realm already. You'll find out his origin later in the book, but you can't just start with like, you know, he's Batman. Batman's fucking cool. All right, now I want to find out more.
Well, that's what they did with Wolverine for decades.
Yeah.
It's like
they didn't know his past. He didn't have a past. Then they gave him one and they fucked it
Wasn't
up.
designed.
So bad. So bad.
Yep. But he didn't have one, and it was better that way. Now, my name is James. Like, what the fuck? Okay, man.
What?
Cool, dude.
And I had bone claws. What the fuck? Yeah. Oh.
No, man.
Damn it. They fucked that one up too. Damn it. You're making
that
me
whole
sad.
thing. That
first
whole
Wolverine
thing was
movie
an
rough,
unfortunate answer to a nerd question.
It's
It's
like,
true. It's true. If you look at the old issues, a lot of people wrote in and asked the same question over and over again. Why doesn't Magneto just rip the adamantium out of Wolverine?
It started cool, and they had a really good premise during that run. It was Adam Kubert was drawing, because they after Silvestri, Mark Texeira took over, which was badass. Then they couldn't find an artist, so it kind of waned, and then Adam Kubert took over, and then they pulled out the adamantium, and so here he is, like with no adamantium, and he's like kind of like having an existential crisis, like who am I? But it turns out that like his healing factor was like the shit. And that him not having to carry that weight actually made him stronger and faster, and his senses were heightened, and his healing factor was like awesome. And then I can't remember what happens, but he runs into Silver Samurai, and something happens with Silver Samurai, and Silver Samurai gives him the sword of the clan, which was Silver Samurai is his brother-in-law. So he has like the sword of with this fucking katana on his back. His hands are all wrapped up, and he's driving a Harley going across the United States. And I was like, dude, just have him fight bad guys. Like, I'm like, all right. And then they did some weird shit and took his nose, and they fucked him up.
I know.
That whole premise of making Wolverine like fucking Kwai Chang Caine from Kung Fu, like doing stuff with like a katana, like a motorcycle katana ninja dude. Like, I was all in. I was so in. They even had him fight
That's the second time they fucked that up too, if you think about it, because Marvel also had that same opportunity with Nomad. Which was Bucky / Winter Soldier. He was doing the same thing. This sort of wandering outlaw super soldier dude, just stopping in towns and helping people and then moving on again. It was perfect, but it was such a short run.
Yeah, with a sweet V-neck. He had that deep V-neck outfit. I'm dressed in spandex. I'm here to help people. Look at this V, dog.
Yeah, and then they gave him the long leather duster, and he kind of went into that renegade phase in the 90s.
It didn't have a kid with him too.
With the show, yeah, and then they did Baby Bucky.
Oh, man, that'd be if you could. Somebody can write that. That writes itself. It's awesome.
It was amazing.
Oh man, I gotta go back and buy those things. Oh man. So many cool ideas.
That whole concept was great, because by the time they got like halfway through the story arc, old Bucky Nomad had like the long hair, he had the shades on, he kind of looked like a biker homeless dude, and he's got this little baby in a backpack on his back that's wearing this like little Bucky blue jumpsuit and a little mask. It was so cool looking.
Oh man, dude, could you imagine if they would have, after Civil War, if they would have did that with Cap?
Right?
Instead of him going to Wakanda, he's like on the run, just like roaming, but he still has to help people because he's Captain America. So he's just like roaming around. Fine, just give that storyline to they could have just gave it to Captain America and had have him doing a movie where he's just like roaming around doing stuff.
Oh,
and maybe
he like fights. Imagine
if
Disney had a clue, they could have done a like Cap Bucky series instead of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Jesus.
Like, good grief.
The person that made the most sense in that whole show was the guy you were supposed to hate. And I don't know if they understand how they write or what they were doing.
No, that was a Rorschach
agent. Yeah, U.S. agent was like the guy who made the most sense. He's like, hey, these are terrorists. Like, you want to help me catch these guys? No, man, we got to talk to them. Yeah, but they're blowing up buildings. Like, oh, no, we got to talk to them. Hey, man, like, they killed my friend, so I like murked one of them. Yeah, like, hell, like I'm on that dude's side. Oh, no, we got to take the shield from him. What? You think Steve Rogers never killed anybody? Throwing around a freaking metal disc at like 60 miles an hour. You're like, come on, man. Like, no, we gotta. Oh, no. It's like, no, geez, they just did it, whatever, to try and get you to hate this guy. But he made the most sense. It's like the only one in the room.
Yeah, it was the Rorschach moment.
Captain America. And he's like, do better, everybody. I'm like, yeah, thanks for the help, dude. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's like, hey, man, lift heavier. Oh, thanks. Okay. Do better. Cool. Like, how do you have wings that are a shield, but you throw a shield? Like, what the fuck? The whole design's ass. Like, I don't know what you guys. Okay. We had Falcon. That was a cool character.
Falcon was amazing
Falcon
in
was
the
the
original
bomb.
setup. Yes.
He shot missiles and shit, and he had guns, and he was cool as fuck. Yeah,
And Redbird,
yeah,
the
But then it
drone.
was-
Oh, dude,
Mhm.
that drone sequence was amazing. I was like, this is what we're looking for. When
Yeah.
they first introduced Falcon, and then he had the drone that
Mhm.
popped out of the wing set, I
Mhm.
was like, here we go, a modern version of the classic character concept. And then they're like, nope, we're going over here. And I'm
Nope, he has to be Captain America
Dude.
now because he's in the Captain America in the comic books.
sigh.
Dude, I bowed out of the MCU at Endgame because Endgame
Yeah.
was so bad to me. I was like, they're done. It's over. Like, and here's the bad part. Infinity War to me is almost a masterpiece. And I say almost a masterpiece because I bet there's some problems in it. But like I love that movie so much. Like I know I look past them. But like in my mind, I'm like, okay, all of the visual CGI effects looked like really freaking good. They had how many different characters in that movie, and like all of them got like moments to shine, like almost equally. The dialogue was really good. The way that the characters bounced off each other, still really good. The emotional beats, really, really good. And then Endgame, and I was like, nope, it's fucked. It's all fucked. We're done.
It's so weird. The idea of the time heist was cool. Like the whole idea is like, yeah, we can like go back in time and like do something, or just something how they involved Ant-Man, and I was like, okay, cool. And then it was weird. It was so weird. Like I don't know, man. It was so bizarre. Everybody was doing nothing. They shoehorned Captain Marvel in there. You're like, yeah, man, let's put her in.
There,
Okay.
Endgame has two good moments. And those two good moments to me are when Captain America's obviously finally says the line, right? Avengers, because we've been waiting for it. I was like 10 years in the making. He's like, Avengers. And he never fucking said, and he finally assembled, and you're just like, yes. And he's got Thor's hammer, and everybody's just like, yes. And then the cheeseburger line at the end with Tony Stark's daughter. Oh, dude. I don't know if like the allergies I don't have were flaring up, man. But like I was like, oh fuck,
Dude, I knew he was gonna do it.
dude,
This dude's gonna die, man.
dude. Like I know, I was like,
Spoilers.
dude, I got so many problems with that fucking movie.
He's like, I'm done, man. I'm almost 60 years old. I'm done playing Iron Man. He's like, fuck this shit.
Well, dude, he was worth like $1 billion by the time they were done.
I wonder if he saw stuff that was happening too, and he's like, I don't think I'm gonna make this anymore. You know.
Well, they've been trying to get him to apologize for Tropic Thunder forever, and he's like, no, I'm not going to apologize.
What are you talking about?
He was like, yeah, it was a great movie. What are you talking about? He's like, you know, it's funny. I was watching him on like the Joe Rogan podcast when he was talking about it. He's like, look, I had some friends who are black that absolutely love that movie. He's like, he's like, hey, what do you say? He's like, yeah, he's like 97% of the friends that I have who are black loved it, thought it was funny. He's like, but then there was a small portion of them that really didn't. He's like, look, and they were like, and this is why I don't like it. And it's because of like, and he's like, look, I didn't live that history. And he's like, I feel you there. He's like, but it was a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's artistic expression. People laugh. It's for laughs. It's not done maliciously. It's come on now.
Comedy, people.
Exactly. You can't
No,
go applying stuff or changing things.
We're not allowed to be funny anymore, guys. Come on.
Well,
That's craziness.
You can't cancel the past based on your modern ideologies.
Hold my beer, they say.
Have you heard of book burning?
Right? It's like that's exactly what it is, dude. It's like you're killing art. You're killing art form.
Dude, fuck, they burned the Library of Alexandria. Yeah, Germany. Like, you can absolutely cancel the past. It's just a lot harder now.
It's just like, dude, like, yeah, you want to beholden people.
You can cancel most of the past with an EMP these days.
You know, it's just like you can't beholden figures in the past for being part of the past. That's how stuff was. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
But they want to, and it's like it makes no sense because no matter 10 years from now, 20 years from now, they're gonna come for you. No matter how progressive you think you are, you're progressive, or it becomes regressive. It makes no sense. Yeah, let's like segregate people. Yeah, this is a.
Oh my God.
We got this space. Man.
We went there.
You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck it.
I'm like,
oh man, yeah,
dude, y'all know what you're doing, right? Like, am I not the only person seeing this? Like, no, this is a non-white area over here. You're just like, dude. What
and
the
they're
fuck?
like, well, like, and it's so funny the way that they said, who was it? It was some comedian that I was watching. It was like, okay, like, how the fuck is it okay to say like people of color, but if you say colored people, it's bad? And it's like, you realize that. And I'm like, yeah, no, like he's right. Like you, and they're like, no. Like back then, the white people kept them away because they didn't want them to be with the white people. And we're like, okay. And we're like, now we want to keep them away because we want them to be safe from the white people. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, you're
NAACP,
like
BET, Black Entertainment Television.
Oh shit! I'm like, you're fucking with me, right? Like, no. They gotta have their own bathrooms and stuff now. And I'm like, oh, like I can't wait until they
That's
bring
all like
back
college kids too. I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know though. This new generation that's coming up though, they seem to be they're the counterculture. The counterculture now for the young kids is like conservative stuff and like just being like, you know, what
normal people.
Yeah,
Dude,
and making jokes at other people's expenses, which is awesome.
Dude, I think Gen Alpha, maybe not so much Gen Z, but like Gen Alpha, like my kids, like I think the counterculture is going to be capitalist as fuck.
Yeah. It's gonna be capitalist. It's gonna be families. It's gonna be,
Yep.
you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get married and have kids and buy a house and like it's gonna be
and we're gonna make money and own shit.
Yes.
And why are we gonna do that? Because you told me that I couldn't, and fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's
Kind of how that works.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. It's like the punk culture, you know, growing up was like, yeah, man, anti-establishment, you know, forget the government, like, don't tell me what to do, whatever. Now they're like, oh, these punks are like, yeah, bro, take the vaccine, dude. Yeah. It's like, what? Whoa.
Dude,
what?
that was like, that was
listen to your government and pay your taxes.
Dude, that was the craziest thing to me. And I'm like, that all of that right there, watching like all these massive punks, like anti-establishment bands that we knew, like Rage Against the Machine and like Green Day and all them, like that's where I'm just like, oh, like the people who have all the money really do influence this stuff, because when the people who had the money tried to steer the world in that direction, all of a sudden all these people just full on totalitarian. We support the government. Like, dude, I've got a fucking album of you guys singing about how bad they are.
Right?
Like,
Them, man.
yeah, no. And it's just like, man, I know who's paying your bills. Holy shit. Like, and it's like, you think people weren't going to see that? Oh, it's nuts, man.
It's because their guy was in. That's why. Their guy was in. Biden was in, dude. It was okay. You know, once their guy got in, they're like, "Oh, we're in with them now." Like their dude was in there.
Yeah,
Remember how ridiculous, how like clown world it is. You know what I mean? Just to be like, whether you care about politics or not or whatever, man. It's like you see this. Oh, they're carting this poor old man up there to give speeches. He's poor old dude who can barely fucking talk.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, let's vote him in again. I'm like, what, dude? And you're like, no, we got Trump. I'm like, I get it. Get these old guys out of there, man. They're too fucking old. You're voting 70 to get old. Dude, 75 years old.
I agree.
Like, what you do? And it's like, do you want your grandpa? Like, do you want your dad like telling you what to do? I'm 43 years old. It's not his time anymore, man. You know, it's my generation's time to start running shit. But my generation is like, yeah, no, we gotta vote this old guy in. No, man, you gotta run it. It's our time, man. You don't want your grandpa in there. You don't even want to have him, you know, give your grandpa anything to do. You don't want to leave your grandpa alone with your baby because the guy has dementia. You want him running the country? Like,
dude, you want him telling you what to do with like tech? These guys are making laws about tech that they have no idea about. No freaking clue. They have no idea how any of what like we're doing right now, dude. Like they have a staff of people that have to get them on a podcast, and it takes us what, 2 clicks to get here. I guarantee you, dude, they have no idea. They have no clue what to do, and you see it too. You see that they, I don't know. I don't know how this got
Could you
political.
imagine a Gen Xer in the White House?
Oh God.
Fuck, that'd be awesome.
Well, I hold on. I'm going to cut in here because speaking of old people,
Almost time to go.
and becoming incoherent. That's going to be me very soon because it's approaching my bedtime. After 9:30, I start to become
Richard, you got to
awake
show us your best Biden impression then.
Man, I don't know. I'll work up to it. But
Just
first,
just slowly trail off into whispers and then
I do
turn around and wave at the wall.
I need to start shouting.
Right.
But
You just gotta get up and leave. That's
All
it.
right.
that too.
Turn
Am I-
around and go to shake somebody's hand who's not there.
Yeah, wave at the
Can
wall.
I take questions?
Shrug.
Can I take questions? I'm not. They don't want me to. They don't want me to take questions.
Anyway, the very important question I have before I go is Berserker.
Finally
if
back
he's
on
injured,
subject.
does he bleed or is he like stuffing?
It's stuffing.
Stuffing. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he
I just
he-
had to know.
Yeah,
Does
fluff
it-
comes out. Everything else in the Nightmare Realm bleeds, though.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that's such a superpower, though.
So yeah, he
Alright.
fluffs. So he doesn't bleed. He fluffs.
He fluffs.
There we go.
His
Okay.
first aid is a needle and thread.
Mm.
I
Right.
like it.
That's
I
legit.
like it.
I mean, that was kind of the first aid for anyway.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, man.
Staples.
Well, I've enjoyed talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Berserker from you whenever you, get that timeline ironed out and get things figured out. I love the idea, and I enjoyed talking to you guys. But like I said, it's my bedtime, and I'm already starting to like stutter. So there you go.
There you go.
But-
I'm developing a stutter very late in life. You know how that is.
yes.
All right, night, guys.
Have a good night.
Hey, bud.
All right, now that the geriatrics are gone.
Hey. Technically, I'm the geriatric in this crowd.
Oh fuck! I didn't realize.
That's
you were
what I
full-
mean, though. A Gen Xer in the White House would be amazing. And now a statement from the president: "Leave me alone for 3 weeks."
Yeah.
Dude, I've been watching a channel like with like military history. Really, really fun. For those of you who are interested in like a fun retelling of like history from like a veteran, check out the Fat Electrician. Guy's absolutely blown up on YouTube. He's like he's killing it, man. Like 1 million subscribers. Like every video he does gets like 1 million, and he's awesome, just fucking awesome. Go check out the Fat Electrician, man. One of the things that I'm realizing is like the times do not change. The bureaucratic establishment, like politicians, like if the politicians can fuck something up, they will fuck something up. Like every time, too. It's not like they fuck it up once. It's every single time these asshats make a decision. And like, oh, dude. Sorry. J-Bot, you touched a nerve.
Humans are stupid.
I just totally veered.
Dude, no. I love it. Ah, man, I love having conversation. Well, it's like, because it's like, I always tell people, like, I want people to get to know, because that's really important to people nowadays, right? Because I think a lot of people feel betrayed. Like they gave their money to a lot of these companies, and all of a sudden these companies hired people that like hated them. And so a lot of people, like, they want to know who they're buying from, which I think is kind of bullshit, right? Like, I think we should like go back to the days where like we don't know the personal like beliefs and politics of but we're not. Like them's gone. Those are gone. We're in the world of social media now. That's not how it is. And so
I want to be the alien from Venture Brothers.
right.
Anytime anybody is like, "What do you think?" I just want to be like, "Don't look at me."
But I think it's really important that you get to talk about the movies that you like and like what you like in pop culture and like the things you didn't like and the things that you were just like, what the fuck, or even like the politics or even just like, your lack of politics. Like you were like, oh, get Trump the fuck out of there too. Like, can we get somebody this side of of half a century?
Yes.
Like, are we getting people that are like closer to a century or old? Like, dude, like if we keep like. These dudes were born before World War fucking II.
It's like they've been in there too long. And I don't know shit about politics, so don't be I just see a bunch of old dudes and I'm just like, fuck all these old guys. You know, it's like you need to
Dude.
get young guys in there with fresh ideas. Same, the companies do it all the time. Why do you think people retire? It was like 60 or it was like 55 or 60 back in the day. They would give you a watch. They would you ask to retire. They get you out of there and they get a younger guy to come take your place because companies and industry needs fresh ideas. Apparently not politics. Apparently you could just sit there and freaking be there and just age your ass out for while we're working with brain tumors. You know, McCain had a big old brain tumor. I'm like, dude,
my
you think that
God.
didn't affect the way this guy thinks?
Oh,
Like,
dude.
again, I don't know shit about politics. I just see a bunch of old guys. And I'm just like, dude, where's my peeps at, man? Where's my young cats, dude? Like, where we at? I'm not even young. Where we at, dude?
You're not.
They're just as bad.
You're not wrong.
It's just like, dude, like, yeah, retire. If you can't work at freaking a Best Buy, homie, you can't work at the damn, damn government,
right.
man.
Get the fuck out.
If the only job you can take is a Walmart greeter, your ass is too old, take a hike. You got money, man.
If
you got
we would
money
legally
already.
suspend your license because you are too elderly to drive, you probably shouldn't be driving the country.
Yes.
Like, God, fuck.
Well, his brain, well, he's not that sharp. I mean, I'm being honest. You know what I mean? It's like,
Dude,
come on, dude. Like, dude. And people, like I said, they're like, yeah, Trump is like, he's just as old.
Yeah. It's like, what's to say that he don't get into office and have like a stroke tomorrow?
Mhm.
Like dude, I had a
Could
I had
happen
a
to
thing-
anybody.
Like when they said that they were talking about Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine, and this was before they announced Deadpool 3. I was like, can we stop dragging 60-year-olds out to like recast shit that they played for 20 fucking years already? Like, can we cuz he's like 60 now. Right?
Dude,
And then like and then they did another fucking a Die Hard movie when Bruce Willis, you know, was still mostly mentally there. And I'm like, dude's in his 70s. Like, the only guy that still kind of pulls it off, like, a little bit, and he slowed down a lot, is, like, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
But he's the exception, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, well, but when everybody was like, oh, we want to see Johnny Depp play Captain Jack Sparrow, I'm like, he's fucking 60. Stop it. They're old as fuck. Everybody's like, dude, Tom Cruise, he's the number one. I'm like, yeah, he's still in his fucking seat. Like, all of the top actors that people talk about right now that, oh, we just want to continue, they're old as shit.
Yeah.
Why?
The dark side of nostalgia.
Dude, and it's like, well,
They're not even making money anymore. I mean, how did Indiana Jones do? It was okay. Like that latest one, it
he
was
made
all
his
right.
money. He made his money. I
Well, I know,
promise
yeah,
you
he
that.
made his money, but what I'm saying is like the studios, people didn't go out and line up to go see the Dial of Destiny.
Dude, here's the problem. So I told people this the other day. Well, not the other day. I was like, it was within the last month on one of my Sunday coffee streams. But I told people, I was like, you know, the problem is that the audience doesn't pay as good as like BlackRock and Vanguard and these investment firms. When you have investment firms that are able to invest like hundreds of millions of dollars or like even billions of dollars in your company, why the fuck would they give a shit about the fans? You're not the one paying the bills anymore. Everybody's like, why? We just don't understand why they don't care about the fans. I'm like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. They can go to two investment firms and get more money from two investment firms than they can from like 20 million fucking fans. Like, and that's just the crux of the situation. You know, and I think that's why the indie sphere is going to take off, is because there's enough like fans out there and like people who will give a shit that like creators like yourself, you make a good living. You work at it for a few years, you get something good out there, people dig it, they buy a lot of it, you make a good living off of it, right? I mean, you're not going to be a billionaire. You might be a millionaire. You know, I don't think you'll be a billionaire. I mean, I don't know. But you could make a really good living off of that. And the fans would love what you're doing. They come back. You make the money from the real fans, the people who care. And then those companies can just sit there because their customers now are the investment firms. Because the investment firms are the ones that have that the investment firms have fuck you money. And the people that the investment firms are saying fuck you to is the general population.
Again, it's movies made by committee. Everything's made by committee.
absolutely.
Art is made by committee. It's made for investors. It's made
comics, fucking books. Like you hear a bunch of people, like there are publishers like, yeah, no, it's a good story. We won't touch it. Like, why? I'm like, well, it's just a little too like socially unacceptable. It's like, shut the fuck up, Karen. God, fuck.
But that's what it always was. I mean, we always had outlaw comics. We always had stuff like Conan the Barbarian, you know, in the big magazine format. We always had stuff like Eerie and Creepy and Creep Show, and like that's what it used to always be. Heavy metal.
Oh yeah.
You know, we used to have stuff like that. Now, unfortunately, there's like nothing that's taking up that mantle. Now, what's taking up the mantle for that stuff is the crowdfunding in the indie space. Is the indie
which
stuff.
is good, which is great.
So now you're seeing that after after trying to fight for 10 years and stuff. You know what I mean? Is where it's like they had such a monopoly on everything. You know,
and I think I like, and people, they don't like to hear it because it's nostalgia, but I'm like, Marvel and DC just need to die, right? And like. And people are like, yeah, how could you say that they're an American institution? And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Stop. Okay. Like, fucking, like,
I'll disagree, but for a totally different reason.
I only say it because we need to stop degrading our classic stories. And these companies, like you said, it's all done by committee. It's all what was pop, and it is eliminating creativity. And I think we need something as radical as the death of major companies like this, you know, and the downfall of them. And then they have to kind of let go of the IPs and stuff like that. And then all those IPs can kind of disseminate and get back into where they need to go. And the people who really care about them will like pick them up, you know. And they'll start doing it. But again, I think that centralization, like you said it was decentralized earlier. The centralization of some of the greatest American superheroes in like two companies at one point in time, like they were centralized there because like the dude who created them like owned the company. Well, specifically in like Marvel's case, but now that's not there. And so it's like if the companies can die and they got to sell stuff off to a bunch of different people who actually give a shit about Superman, who actually care about Batman, who actually care about the Fantastic Four, who care about Spider-Man, like, which I've heard the new, the new Ultimate Spider-Man. I've actually heard like a lot of good things from a lot of people.
It's bringing people to the store. Dude, bringing people to the comic shop again. That's the effect that it has, though. You know, that's unfortunately. And if
the question is why,
if the publishing arm of Marvel, or let's say the comic books and stuff, right? Marvel, DC, if they do die, Warner Brothers, as far as I understand, and Disney own that stuff. They're not going to sell it. They're just not going to do anything with them. Correct. That's pretty much what's going to happen. So you're not going to have, you're not going to license them out. They're not going to give them to anybody. They're just
Pirates of Darkwater.
So the idea is that, so when you have something like the new Spider-Man that came out, people are talking about, I haven't picked it up yet because it's been sold out. I've been, it's like when people come in to buy they hear Spider-Man's good again, they haven't been in a long time. They come to buy it.
That's the point.
And they act so
then they buy other stuff.
They act so shocked. It's fucking Spider-Dad.
Yeah.
It's fucking Spider-Dad.
Dude, how long have we been waiting for Spider-Dad?
Like, and
20 years, man.
We can't figure out why the fuck this is selling so good. It's like, I don't know. The dude fucking got married and had kids with his high school fucking sweetheart, and now he's the fucking rock star. Like, he's the fucking superhero fucking dad. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
What they don't realize, and I think it's a problem that Spider-Man's fans have, and I think Marvel has, is Marvel always wants to keep Spider-Man broke and unhappy and whatever, and it's like, it's Spider-Man's time. He's the most popular character Marvel has, without a doubt. I don't even have to look it up. I guarantee he's the most popular. Like, Peter Parker Spider-Man is the most popular character they have. Peter Parker Spider-Man, he has to take the place of the Captain Americas. He has to be their Superman. Peter Parker Spider-Man has to become the next role model for the next generation of heroes. If they want it to go, he has to be their All Might now. He's earned that spot. He needs to evolve and become a grown-up, and giving him a family with Mary Jane and stuff. That makes him that.
That is why I said I disagreed with what Roy said.
Oh, so now you throw back my own shit. I fucking dang, God.
You guys got there.
But they don't know. The problem is that they don't have people that love the characters that work there. Eventually, it's going to happen, and I think
Dude,
it's
I-
happening slowly. You know, what
I
I
don't.
mean?
I don't think they have people there. Like, it's not even just talking about characters. I don't think they have people there who understand what makes people likable.
Yeah.
Like that. Fuck characters. Fuck story. I don't think they understand because a lot of these people are single. They're not married. They don't have fucking kids. Right.
Mhm.
They have a job where, they make they would at one point in time they made decent money. Now they fucking don't. But they have lived that dull, depressing, I have no money, life is going nowhere for me, I can't seem to get a break. And that's the only thing they could fucking write. The best thing about Peter Parker back in the day wasn't the fact that he was a broke college kid. It was that he was a fucking superhero who also had to deal with like real world shit.
Mhm.
Like human stuff, the stuff that we all dealt with. He was in high school, then he was in college. The logical step is then he gets married, right? And then it kind of did that, and then there was a fucking thing. Anyway, but and then the next step is he has kids, and it's like, okay, how does a superhero deal with all of these stages of life? Because we all deal with all of these problems already. All right, now you're a fucking superhero, and see how that plays into that situation, right? Like that was the real thing with Spider-Man. At least that's how I read it when I was, growing up. And I grew up with the cartoons and stuff like that. Like just so you are aware, because I have said this so many times. When I was a kid, I hated reading so much I wouldn't even pick up a comic book. Reading was made to be a chore for me. I fucking hated it. As an adult now, I'm trying to read more. A lot of the stuff that I've consumed is comic book media, where the cartoons when I was a kid. As YouTube became popular, I started going back and listening to people who would break down entire storylines on YouTube because I love the fucking characters, and I wanted to, and I do a lot of driving, so it's just, like audiobook type stuff for me to listen to. But I also had friends who read the comics too, and I would talk with them about it, and I would learn from them as well, because I was always interested, but I genuinely despised reading. Like, and it only took me until like a few years ago when I was like, all right, I need to work on this. I've got kids of my own. Like, they can't have a dad who doesn't read. And so I always tell people, the way I would describe myself is like, I'm less of like a comic book fan because I didn't buy the books, right? But I'm more of like a comic book student because I love learning about them, because I love this shit and I think it's fun as hell. So just so you don't get it crossed, like, yes, I have a fair amount of knowledge about it. No, I didn't pick up the books. I am not going to even try to fucking pretend that I did, or that I have the level of knowledge of people that did. So I wasn't sure if you knew that already or not, but just so like we're all on the same page, because I feel sometimes I need to like also let people, like, remind people of that, because I don't ever want to, oh, like, he talks like he knows all the comics. No, like, I'm just this is where my knowledge comes. This is where my knowledge comes from. Like, this is where I'm at. Like, total transparency. You know what I mean?
I haven't collected comic books since like the first run of Ultimate Spider-Man, like 2003, 2000. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like I've been out for a long time. I just started, when I wanted to do Berserker, I decided to go to the comic shop and see what's there. Right. Because for years, people on YouTube have been saying there's no good comics out there and they're full of shit. You just have to go see what the indies are doing. You got to see what other people are doing, because that's where the creativity is.
That's not Marvel and DC. There's no good comics out there.
Yeah. It's
dude,
like,
we got Daniel's. My wife is like Daniel's Street Team. My wife got Daniel's comic, which is right here, it's an adaptation. It's a comic adaptation of his novel.
Yep.
She got that into our local, game store.
Yep.
Like, and dude, and the owners there loved it. The guys were talking it up. They were super thrilled for it. Like,
it was so thrilling to hear that too.
This thing too is like, as big as we like to think, or like our corner, of our YouTube, thousands of views, millions of views. You got guys like Ethan Van Sciver, Eric July, Friday Night High, all these guys, whatever. It's still like this, dude.
Oh, dude,
Mhm.
It's still like this. I go to the comic shop and I'll ask, and they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I could grab any book, and if it looks good, people will buy it.
Mhm.
So this world that we're in is not the
Well,
end all be all.
and-
There's a big space out
well,
there.
and
You know what I
that's
mean?
that's why
That's
I'm
what I'm
gearing
working on.
my videos on my channel to reach that wider audience. Like my live streams will still be the same. I'm still always going to do Comic Shop Wednesday. I'm still going to do Iron Age Nights. I'm still going to do Sunday Coffee. You know, and like we do Star Shatter. That's that's a fun thing that we do. I'm still going to do those. But my videos, and actually, oh, by the way, chat, I totally forgot to mention this. Chat, once this live stream is done on A Drink with Crazy, it's gonna go dark. You guys won't be able to see it. However, the VOD will be up over on ADWC Replay. So you guys can go to ADWC Replay and leave your comments over there, and that's where I will read those comments. I meant to say that at the top of the show. That's a new thing. So we're live streaming right now on well, I don't know if actually Rumble's working or not. We should be over there. But we're live streaming on 2 YouTube channels right now and Rumble. And then when it goes dark, because I'm tired of manually transferring it, having to download it and manually transfer it all, once it goes dark here, it'll still be up over there. And that's because YouTube does weird stuff with live streams and videos.
Yeah.
But like you say,
Yeah.
it's so small here. And so I'm like, okay, I want, because I love the stuff that I'm seeing with the indie world and the stories that I've read so far. I freaking dig them. Like, yes, I have read some. Not as much as I would like to, but I'm like, okay, I want to grow that. How do I grow that? And I'm like, well, covering the indie stuff isn't working, but I'm also interested in a lot of like mainstream stuff. So what if I talk about that stuff, use that stuff to grow the channel, keep the live streams, and then I just start funneling people in, right? You know, just like, oh, hey, you're interested in anime? Hey, have you checked out this comic that looks like anime that you might like? Like, it's from an indie guy. You should check it out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it all kind of cross pollinates too. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be
Absolutely.
beholden too to like, I only talk about Iron Age, or I only talk about Comics Gate, or I only talk about Rippaverse, right? You don't want to do that because then you're just like, you know what I mean? It's like the audience is like this, dude. Just we're just gonna talk to you. Like I said, I'm selling Berserker in my store. I never even thought about it. To one of my buddies was like, dude, you should put it in your store. And he's a comic book colorist. And I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, dude, you could sell them easy. I was like, all right. So I put them in there, and I've sold about 10. I think I've sold about 10 so far. I did
awesome.
2 sets of 5 so far, and I'm like, dude.
Nice.
And then my partner and stuff, he's like, yeah, man. He's like, go for it. And he's like, yeah, man. I was like, should I, give the store can take, I'm selling for 15. The store can take 5. He's like, no, that's yours, dude. Every week we'll cut you a check for what you. I'm like, all right, cool. And he's like, just put it in the pot so you can make your next comic. I'm like, yeah, man, cool. So that's all I'm doing. So by you buying Berserker, you helped me fund my next comic book.
Dude, that Berserker was a gift from Maji Chan. Maji Chan bought it for me because we're dealing with medical bills and all that shit right now. So
Maji Chan's a trooper, man.
Dude,
She's been supporting
she's
Berserker day
so
one.
fucking
She's
awesome,
great.
dude. And did you hear that Darkish Multiverse? Did you hear that he's doing a freaking cosplay?
He sent me some pictures of stuff that he has.
Dude, he loved it so much. He was like doing a cosplay. Like he was like done, sold, like absolutely like. I was like, man, and he was like sending me the pictures. I was like, dude, did you send them to J-Bot? And he's like, no. I was like, fucking send them to him.
I just saw the costume when he got it, like the parts. I haven't seen. I told him too, like if he needs anything, let me know. I'll draw him up whatever he needs, like whatever stuff looks like. He can reach out to me. Yeah, we've been messaging each other here and there and stuff. So yeah, dude, I couldn't even believe. I'm like, what? Like,
dude,
I'm using Berserker. It's gonna fund my next comic, and I'm just gonna, dude. I could do ash cans for the rest of my life, dude. Like I love this. This is great.
I mean, honestly, dude, it probably wouldn't be a bad thing because not a lot of people are doing that. I don't know.
I have an idea for my next. Yeah, I'm doing my book. I have an idea for the next Berserker project, and I'm gonna say it here because it's gonna be limited, because you guys are my peeps and you guys have promoted Berserker. So the idea is I might do 50 or 75, and I've never seen it before. It's gonna be a Berserker sketchbook because I've done tons of drawing and concepts and stuff of Berserker.
Yeah.
Right. It's gonna be a regular size comic book. It's gonna be a sketchbook with Berserker with a sketch cover.
Ooh.
So it's going to be a blank cover, and I'm probably going to do 50 to 75. I'm going to keep the print run low because when you order it, I'm going to draw on the sketch cover.
That'd be cool. So everybody get like an individual.
So you're going to get a sketchbook with a sketch cover.
You better
That's
charge.
awesome.
Make sure you charge for that, man.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I know not like crazy amounts of money, but like make sure because like that's gonna take a lot for you. Oh, well, I don't know how fast you are at drawing. Maybe it takes you 10
I'm not
seconds.
fast.
Like, nah, bro. Like, no. Like, dude, I got a day job. Like, I got a day job. I got a kid.
Well, the idea of when I was doing the art for the Berserker tier, when I did $10, like I was like, yeah, man, because I've done head, people give me head sketches when I would draw or when I'd order a indie book, head sketch, whatever, and it would be like a sketch, So that's what I started doing, but it never turns out as a sketch. Then I start doing okay. Then I sit there and
Right.
I spent 3 hours on a piece. I'm like, okay, man, I can't charge $5 for this anymore. But yeah, that's gonna be the idea. Probably the next Berserker project is gonna be that.
Cool.
Because I never seen a sketchbook with a sketch cover.
Dude, I think that's
It's true.
maybe I'm wrong, but like for the collectors out there, and for the people who want to get in on the ground floor with you, dude, I think it's a great idea, man. I really,
Yeah, I think it's neat. I think it's a good idea.
Innovative ideas are always great selling points.
I am all about Berserker and have been since you posted it that first time on Comic Shop Wednesday because I have 4 kids and I'm looking for stuff that my kids can get into. It's like if we want, I mean, if we want to have a massive fan base like that next, like we did, everybody talks about, oh, dude, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, is your comic book for like a kid? Oh, no, dude, like kids can't read my comic book. I'm like, didn't you just get done telling me that you were inspired when you were a kid?
Berserker would be around like it'd be if you're an 80s kid, Berserker would probably be something that you saw in terms of like there's monster guts in it, but there's no like sex or gore. Besides like monsters getting cut in half.
My kids watch Demon Slayer, so like,
you know what I mean? So it's like
I'm one of those parents.
I don't
that, like,
consider gore to be like maybe extreme circumstances of it, but general gore I don't consider to be not kid friendly these days.
it'd be like they're almost like the bad guys would be like they're almost feel like a purple slime is what it would look like. If I did color, it'd be a purple slime is what it would look. It looked like purple like ecto freaking, you know what I mean, or like purple ooze like from the Ninja Turtles. This is what it would look like.
But in black and white, it can be interpreted as big amounts of blood.
There you go. Yeah.
I just for my, I'll say this, and then we'll go to super chats after this. But I like, so for me as a parent, and I think everybody has like a different line. Like, I start kind of drawing the line when it starts to get like the body dysmorphia or like body, what is it called? Like the body dysmorphia gore,
like body horror type stuff.
Yeah, like when like shit, like when the bodies like are all distorted and it gets like all like that. I'm like, all right, the kids don't need to be seeing that. Like, but like somebody cuts a dude in half and it's just like, and there's the body half and it's like, and half the time there's like no guts or anything. It's just blood.
Yeah,
like it's not like guts and so, I'm like, that's fine. Like,
so it's like a cartoon, when they cut a cartoon, and you see somebody.
Dude, I watched Frieza get cut in half. Like, and they did some weird shit with Cell too. Sorry.
Yeah, they did.
All right, Maji Chan for $2 says, also Joe, I think she means J-Bot. Whose book is better, Hockey's or yours?
Oh. Well, mine's out, so I win.
Oh god! The book that's on the shelf is the book. I
already did it. It's not the full story, but I did a preview.
Won the race.
There you go.
Hockey store. He's one of my friends who I draw with all the time. He's doing cool. He's doing a cool it's not even like it's really cool. It's called like Curiosities and Oddities, the dress. And it's like centered around a store, and this store sells these things. And this girl buys a dress, and when she puts the dress on, she gets transported to like the 1920s. And she's like, in a party and stuff. So she keeps putting the dress on and going back, and all of a sudden there's a murder. And so now she's trying to solve the murder. So yeah, it's an awesome premise. I'm like, dude, this is great.
That's really cool.
Wait, but like she can go back and forth to the future?
Yeah, every time she takes the dress off, she's back in our time. When she puts the dress on, she's back.
That's an awesome story for a murder mystery.
Yeah. And so he's
That
gonna
is very
this
cool.
one's about the dress, and then he said each story it's gonna be curiosities and oddities, and then there'll be the music box, or it'll be like something, each book is gonna be another item in the shop.
Is it going to be a different murder every time or same murder?
It doesn't have to be a murder.
Just
This one's a murder mystery. Then he can always do what he can. Maybe a kid gets a
Oh.
compass and it becomes an adventure. The next one might be an
Yeah.
adventure story, but it's all centered around
that's
items around
cool.
this
Magical
book. It's a great
items.
idea. Yeah, it's a
Dude,
great
that's
idea.
a
Fantastic
cartoon
idea.
idea they could have done.
Mhm.
Actually,
That is really good.
That's really really good.
Yeah, he's been working hard on it, so he's got this sign up. I wish I had the link. I'd freaking tell you guys. But he hangs out with me all the time and stuff. Maybe I'll have him message you because he's on Australia, so his time is all wonky and stuff. But he'd be a cool guest to have on.
It's close
be
enough
honest.
to ours. No, dude, definitely, yeah.
I want to,
So we are scheduling next month right now because we've got to look at the sign up sheet. You got. So I'm gonna be real with you. Like you got kind of like the special treatment. Like, okay, we really want to have this guy on. So like you didn't even have to do like the Google sign up sheet and stuff. Like when a lot of people like reach out to us, they're like, hey man, like I'd love to be on the show. And I'm like, like the first place I send people, I'm like, I go to my pin tweet on my Twitter. Like there's a Google form there. Like sign up, tell us about your project. Like we have a lot of people that want and we forget all the time because people come up like, dude, I'd love to be on the show. We will forget. Give us because we're all really big. Give us 20 minutes. We'll forget. Like it has happened so many times. That's why the Google form is born.
Yes.
And so, but like when there are people that we're just like, no, we need to absolutely have this person on. It's like, okay, we're gonna bring this guy on. Oh shit, that looks so cool.
This is the next book. This is gonna be my first floppy.
No shit.
It's going to be about 22 to 24 pages. I'm debating if I want to do it in digitally or traditional. I might try to do the whole thing traditional. But so it says Ozzy. His name's Rigby Rabbit. He's the mechanic at Podunk Port Town. The title is Steampunk Silly and Let's Get Crackin'. The thing on the back of his little steam car, that's Toots, the steam car. That's a baby Kraken. And he comes across a baby Kraken and takes it in, and all of a sudden, other baby krakens, because of course it's a port town, so they live off the ocean, start invading the town and start eating everything. So Rigby Rabbit, and along with the everybody, of course, in this world is an animal. It's a tribute to like the old 20s and 30s Fleischer cartoons, the Disney cartoons, stuff like that. Have to get together and figure out how can they get rid of these baby krakens. And then spoiler, Mama Kraken comes and he has to fight it in a giant steam robot.
Well, looks like my wife and I are going to be buying another one of your books.
So this is all ages. There's no gore or anything like that. I mean, Berserker is kind of all ages too, but this is going to be a tribute to like old Disney movies and things like that. Anybody can read it. It's going to be, I just want to bring a cool comic for everybody in this aesthetic. And yeah, so this is my next project. So I'm working on this while I'm writing Berserker.
That's freaking cool, dude. I think my daughter, because she's into like Bendy and the Ink Machine and like Cuphead and all that stuff. I think she'd love that art style.
Absolutely.
And this one's gonna be black and white too, but it's probably gonna be a little bit more sepia toned, so it looks like those old animations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. So this is the next project. So you're not gonna get a next Berserker project, but this is what I'm currently working on right now.
Such a tease.
But I probably will do the in between. I probably will do that sketchbook because I have tons of Berserker art that nobody has seen.
I saw, dude. Well, that nobody's seen. Oh,
yeah.
See what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen? He's like, nah, you're not gonna get the next Berserker book, but you'll get more Berserker. What the fuck? Oh man. Ram, member for 17 months, says about time there's diversity in the panel, Royce. Ram, he's Ram has absolutely let me know that he is a brown person many times. He has told me that my wife is he said that his wife is an honorary Latina because she knows how to cook really good Mexican food.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, I know. I told there's a
Hey, listen, somebody in the relationship has to have the good credit.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, that's shit. Yeah. No,
And usually you got to get a white woman. So
right. She's dude. I used to give her so much shit for so many years because, my wife used to be like, she's like, well, I want to cook you good Mexican food at the house, and I tell her no because like I grew up with it. Like I grew up with Mexican food and Italian food.
Mhm. Oh, that's good.
Oh, dude. Well, but like I grew up with it from like the grandparents who like immigrated. Like not my grandparents. Like my dad had friends and my dad. So I guess technically these people would have been old enough to be like great grandparents of mine. But like, so I grew up and then like their kids. So like grandparents age of mine. But like I grew up with families that like knew old world cooking, right? Like they brought the recipes from like the motherland.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to tell my wife all the time, I used to joke with her. She's like, no, I want to learn how to cook you Mexican food because I know how much you love it. And I was like, nope, you're not allowed. And she goes, why not? I was like, is your mom or your grandmother an old Mexican lady? And she was like, no. I was like, that's why you can't do it. So my wife, so we moved to Iowa. And there's no Mexican food in Iowa. I mean, there is, but it's not. It's not. And like, I could have killed somebody for a green chili. Like a beef and bean and green chili burrito.
Oh, jeez.
I could have killed. They don't have green chili out here.
Oh, jeez.
They don't know what it is out here. Even like, dude, even some of the Mexicans
It's
they don't know what
Iowa.
green chili, dude. Like but the Mexicans don't know what green chili is, dude. Like
Those landlocked Mexicans. Man.
dude, man, oh man, like
They've been
and
stuck
I
there.
could have killed somebody. And so my wife, she goes online. I don't even know where she goes, but she goes and she said she found an old Mexican lady who didn't even speak English, and my wife had to put on like the English subtitles, and some of them didn't even translate right, but she kind of understood the words, wrote it down. Then there's a Mexican grocery store near us. Then she went to the Mexican grocery store, and these ladies in there, they don't speak English. And so my wife is a tattooed up, like, metalhead looking white woman going in there, and she's communicating through like Google Translate to the old Mexican lady in the store. And my wife learned how to cook Mexican food, like good Mexican food. Oh, dude. It made me so happy.
Dude, man, that's dedication.
Oh,
that's
dude,
dedication.
she's fucking incredible. Like, oh, dude. So, and then she does it with Italian food. And then her gumbo, man. Oh my God. Like Southern food. Oh, dude, she makes such a good gumbo. Yeah. I would be fat.
I'm so hungry.
I know, dude. I'm so hungry.
Hungry.
Oh God, dude, this is a great picture. Oh shit.
I made this one so when people confuse me on Twitter, I'm going to post this.
Dude, that's
what
a
are you
great
talking about?
fucking meme. What are you
I'm
saying?
like,
Yeah,
what are you
what
talking
do you
about?
mean?
Yeah, he has a robot arm. One of his arms is robotic.
That's fucking cool, dude. I love the artwork style so much. It's so fucking cool.
So this one's going to be fun. I'm stoked to work on that.
Dude, that's awesome. Crimson Law for $10. Every story needs an ending. The issue with Western media is how they try to drag things out perpetually without an end goal. Things lose focus and go off the rails.
Correct.
Yeah, you see that money. Again, the corpos get involved. They want to see that money. They want to keep going.
Yeah.
Lost.
Lost is a prime example. Most shows too. Most shows flounder out. Just like
I think most television
Lost,
shows,
Supernatural, CSIs. I could keep going.
Yeah, I think most shows get like you got like 5 years for a television show, and then after that it just starts to get ridiculous. It's like I don't know many shows that can maintain their status after 5 years. And Supernatural, they tried to end. They did. Like they were done. And then like it was the CW at the time. The CW walked up to him, and I don't even know how much that check was worth. But they were just like, "Hey, you want to do season 6?" And they're like, "No, we're done." And then they were like, "Do you want to do season 6?" And they were like, "All right, get the boys on the phone." Like that's what happened. They actually tried to cancel the show, I think, like 4 times. They tried to write like a solid ending. And it finally got to the point where I think the guys just had enough. Dude, they just, like the CW just kept writing big checks, like really big checks, because that was the moneymaker for their network. And so here you go. Like
Yep.
it was nuts. Yeah, they tried shutting that show down like 4 times. And they finally got
Wow.
after 15 seasons, the main actors were like, we're done.
Please,
Like
please leave me alone.
there's no amount of money. Like we're done. And admittedly, yes, it did go downhill, but not as bad as not as bad as it could have. But
I can't believe people still watching The Walking Dead. Is that still going?
dude,
Like,
I don't
holy
fucking-
Christ, man!
dude, I
It
think
stopped and then they restarted it. They're banking
how
on the
this-
nostalgia stuff, but
Oh,
it's fucking
jeez. I was out at season 3. I was like, I'm done.
I
That's
checked
man.
out some
Dude,
of the new stuff, and the only one that's actually viably good is Daryl Dixon's story.
Mm.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
The other ones, Rick and Michonne,
fuck that, dude, I
unnecessary.
don't care.
And Negan and what's her freaking name? That story is just a rehash of
Mhm.
something I think they did in like season 5.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, I mean, I think my wife and I, we made it to season 4. We could not believe season 5 was as bad as it was, and then I think we watched season 6, and that's because my buddy had them on DVDs. And he was like, dude, it's really bad. I'm like, I told you it was going to be bad. I told you in season 4 it was going to be bad. I told you what was going to happen. And he goes, no, you were right. I just need you to watch this to suffer. And I was like, after season 6, I
Suffer
was
with
like,
me.
dude, I was like, fuck you. We're done. Like my wife and I were like, we're never watching another episode of this again. This is horseshit. And it was bad in season, like it was really bad in season 5. But anyway, Mario Trujillo, a member for 4 months. Hey, when we think Royce is smart, he proves us wrong. Always. Every fuck yeah. Dude, I keep trying to tell people I'm a drunk redneck. They don't fucking listen. That's why I tell you, don't associate with the chat. They don't listen. Maji Chan gifted 5 A Drink with Crazy memberships. Holy shit.
All
Thank you
right.
so much, Maji Chan. Mario Trujillo for $5. Royce, I like punching and exposition. I never said I liked exposition. What the fuck? What the fuck? Exposition. Explosion. Exposition? No. Also, Royce. Okay, so you fucked up the first one, Mario Trujillo. All right. Michael Bay is a little much. Oh, God. Oh, Royce, we love your boony toony anime boy mindset. Get the goat.
The
First
goat
of all,
is officially Jared Christman, by the way.
Oh, God. Dude, his movie looks so good. Like, I'm so fucking excited.
That trailer, when he
Dude.
shared it with me for Final Check, man. Oh,
Dude, that was so
I am
good.
so excited for that movie.
That movie's going to be killer. Maji-chan gifted another 5 A Drink with Crazy memberships. Holy shit, Maji-chan. Thank you.
It's a lot of memberships.
Yeah.
It is. Brian McCoppin, a member for 15 months. Just here to see if Richard is still awake.
He gone.
No.
Yeah, he was when you sent that in, but also he's not now. So words are hard. Yeah, right. Well, dude, Jay, man, dude, thank you so much for being on tonight, dude. I wish you all the success in the world. I will buy if I have the money and I can buy it, and it's like at the right time, and I'm not getting fucked over by life, dude. I'm buying what you got, dude. I look forward, and please, please, please always share in the Wednesday post for as long as I have that going, because if I could shout you out, man, I'm going to. Like, I just, dude, everything. I didn't even know you had other projects going on, and now that I do, I'm just like, okay, and these also look cool, and these are also things I can give to my kids, and like, you are doing the thing that I think a lot of people should be doing. So, man, where can we find you? And like, where can we find you and all the socials? And what do you do?
So everything's MightyBot Studio at MightyBot Studio, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I'm always streaming on YouTube, art stuff. But the show we do every Thursday is called The Art Department. It's usually myself and maybe like 3 or 4 other indie artists. Usually we just work on our projects and shoot the breeze, just kind of like this, except we're drawing. And then follow me on social on X, Twix, Twitter.
The Twix.
At
With
Mighty
the
Bot
Twix.
Studio. Also, that's where you message me if you want a copy of Berserker. Each one is signed and numbered. I'm only selling 100 of these. I printed a little bit over in case some were bad and got messed up. But I'm only selling 100 of these.
I got
And each
19.
one is signed and numbered.
I got
So
19.
right now I think I'm up to 35 or 36 that I have sold already. Like I said, I'm only doing 100. After that 100, after these sell, I'm never doing this cover again. I might republish it or look into maybe Amazon print on demand because I had people overseas interested. But this cover is never going to show up again on a Berserker book. So yep. I think I got 70 something left. So whatever. Math is hard. Get yours before I sell out. And just message me $15 plus $10 shipping. If you are overseas and you do want a copy, we'll have to figure. So I did send them to a couple friends. I sent one to one of my friends in Germany. It cost $28. So just don't be, if you want overseas, it might be $30 for me to send this to you. Yeah. But otherwise, I'm going to see if I could do something for print on demand through Amazon for people overseas. And that way they get to read it. But yep, just message me and I do PayPal and I usually ship it out the next day. I put it in a Gemini mailer. Of course, it's bag boarded, put it in a Gemini mailer. Then I put that in a bag. And then your label and stuff is on that. So in case it gets wet, the cardboard, it'll be protected. So I put it in a bag and on top of being in the Gemini mailer too. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
So come check me out, man.
There you go. Hedge, shut up. No, we're not going there tonight. Sorry. I have to tell my chat to shut up. There's memes were made. Memes were made of me.
Always.
Daniel P. Riley, where can we find you? What do you do, good sir?
You can find me, Daniel P. Riley, at whimsyland.org, literary coaching and services. I'm always available to help you refine your project. And on the Twix at Mr. DP Riley. And every Sunday on the Freelancer live stream, which is essentially the writing version of Bob Ross.
All
That's
right.
literally what it is.
I like the sound of that.
Instead of be like trees, he'd be like, every word needs a friend. Let's give this word a little friend.
There's a little bit of commentary. I usually do a review of an indie project in between, but mostly it's 40 minutes of you watching me go. And hopefully it inspires you to actually sit down and work on your project too.
It should, man.
Yes. Otherwise, the only news that I currently have is that the campaign for Jisadai comic issue number 2 will begin in the middle of May.
That's awesome.
Kevin is just about finished with my last 10 pages of the 32-page comic. We got a couple of minor things, and I've got some variant covers to get in, but the campaign will be starting in the middle of May, which means I might be able to squeak out the 3rd issue before the end of the year. We'll see.
That would be legit, dude. That would be legit. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. We have interviewed another fantastic creator for episode number 78. Holy crap. This show's getting old. Awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much. For
Too old for politics, apparently.
on Iron Age.
Too old to
Way
run
too
for
the
president.
fuck old for politics. Get this show's old. Get this shit the fuck off YouTube. What are we doing? Like,
Somebody needs to come up with a new show.
it's got to be a new show. We need a Gen X show.
Oh, God, a Gen X show? Jeez.
Sweet, a bunch of people saying, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be a
Why are you
5-second
here?
live stream.
Why
Like
are
4
you in the
people in
chat?
panels going, no, and then it ends.
Right. Like, why are you here? Why didn't you show up to my live stream? It's like, what the fuck?
Go away.
Like this
Leave
from-
me be.
Oh, shit. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate everybody who came and hung out and chat. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Tune in for Sunday Coffee at 11 a.m. Central every single Sunday, where I read all of your comments that you leave on my live streams and videos. And by the way, guys, ADWC Replay is where you go. If you guys want to leave your comments now on the live streams, because the live streams are going to post over there. They're going to go dark here. They're going to post over there, which they're already posted. And then that's where we're going to read it. And like I said, because YouTube's weird with live streams and stuff, and I got to start separating. But it's going to be awesome.
IAK Sundays, people.
See? Join
Sunday
me.
coffee with Royce, writing and creating with me, and chilling with Richard all on the same day.
And as always, until next time, cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.